pounds or Saudi riyals in boxing. But that's at the top. At the bottom, it isn't quite the same. Even for those on the rise, there's not an awful lot of cash in the boxing world. And if you're just starting out, well, it can be a very costly exercise indeed. But don't take my word for it. Here's the former European champion talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver.
You're turning professional and you're boxing, let's say, York Hall on a non-televised fight. You have to sell tickets to earn any money, but you have to cover the wages of your opponent as well. So if you don't have the ability to be able to sell enough tickets, you effectively have to pay to fight.
A far cry then from Jake Paul facing Mike Tyson in 2024, when the purse was reported to be around £48 million. But the vast amounts of cash lining the top dog's pockets isn't the norm in a typical fight.
Let's say you're lucky and you get between 5 and 10 grand. You're going to get 10 grand max for that. 10% goes to the trainer, 25% goes to the manager. Then we've got the tax man to pay as well. So we're cutting that money in at least half. So now you've got 5 grand for a 10-week camp. So you're talking about a guy here earning, he might be clearing 500 quid a week. How do you support a family on that? So boxers chase the dream. And, you know, there's probably 2% of them that actually make it.
So say you do make it and you start to rise up the ranks. Strikers Boxing, a training academy, says the mid-tier fighters can earn more, somewhere between £10,000 and £50,000 a fight, depending on record, profile, opponent and popularity of weight class. It's only at the top level does the real cash start flowing in, with the top-tier professionals, i.e. those going for titles, earning 6 figures a fight. Something else you'll have heard of is the terms prize fighter or journeyman. A prize fighter is, as it sounds, someone who picks up fights where they can and gets a nice big check if they win. Journeymen are the fighters who take on up-and-comers, effectively used for experience in the ring. Even if they're going up against the real prospects, a young Anthony Joshua, for example, these guys will be lucky to earn more than 10 grand. So the average boxer isn't as rich as you'd think.
Well, this is Drive with me, Adrian Durham, and Darren Bent. Coming up today, we'll discuss the good times and the bad times for Crystal Palace over the last 24 hours as I'm sat alongside Benty, the Arsenal fan. Today, we're bringing back the Daily Arsenal for one day only. If you're new to talkSPORT, stick around. We will reveal all. Benty asked for it. Off the back of that, we'll ask whether Arsenal have the best player in any position across the Premier League. So think of all their players. Are any of them the best in that position in the Premier League? Have a think about that. And the Championship returned over the weekend. We'll bring you the top talking points from all of the action. All that plus Alex Crook will tell us everything we need to know about Palace's failed appeal with UEFA, and we'll take a look at Jack Grealish's move to Everton. It's Drive on talkSPORT, and you can get involved on 03717 722 3344. Well, this is weird.
I'm still trying to work out how to get the earpieces in.
Good luck with that, mate. Yeah, you can't tell me how to do. You haven't even been here.
Honestly, no idea what's going on there. Look, this is popped out. Look, it's just broken. The thing's just broken.
Benty's broken it, by the way. But yeah, I'm sitting in for Andy Goldstein. It's still his show. Sitting in for one day only. Is he back tomorrow? Andy Goldstein's back tomorrow. Sorry, the winner is back tomorrow.
What?
He didn't just win one game. He won 2 games, I understand, right?
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think he might let you know about it tomorrow?
Oh, do you know what? I've already had messages from him talking about, is it the greatest sporting achievement ever? in the history of sport. And I'm like, what? But yeah, I'm again, listen, fair play to him. He's gone over there. He's
No, not fair play to him.
Maybe I have to give it out there.
One of his wins was against somebody who runs a pub. I mean, come on.
I've got to be in it to win it.
Well, wasn't it an invite? And they just picked up some random bar owner, and Andy's beating him somehow. And
on the record, I mean, do you know what? It's funny you said that because he's trying to take credit for the last time he was in the tournament, and the guy visa didn't come through, so he got a bye. So he's trying to say, well, I've won. On the record books, it says he's won another game.
Unbelievable. Actually, very believable. With
goals.
So I'm in for Andy for just one day only, back on drive. So we had to bring back the Daily Arsenal, which we're going to do a little bit later on in the show. But Crystal Palace have officially failed in their European appeal. So Palace fans, how are you feeling about demotion to the Conference League?
Because the 10 minutes are up and the Eagles have landed it. Crystal Palace win the FA Cup for the very first time. Today, that also brings them a passport to Europe.
Crystal Palace are understood to have lost their appeal to CAS.
I'll admit to not even thinking about the issue.
They must play in the Europa Conference League instead of the Europa League.
Interesting there. That was obviously the news breaking on talkSPORT this morning when White and Jordan were on. Brilliant that Simon Jordan was on when that news broke, obviously with his Palace connections. But they had, you heard from John Textor there as well. He was on the show a few weeks ago. And he says there that he didn't even think about it. And then he said when they were lifting the FA Cup, he was thinking, oh my God, he was thinking it was all going wrong. So you wonder where exactly his head was at. There's a lot to the story, okay? And what you've got to take notice of the fact is I've seen reported that this will cost, the demotion will cost Crystal Palace £20 million. That's the reported figure. Now, obviously, people at the club will have to work out what it means for the finances, but that is a significant amount of money, isn't it?
Well, that's the difference between keeping some of your top players and then unfortunately having to sell them and also dipping into the transfer market. It is a shame for Crystal Palace because their last, we'd have to say, 6 months has been absolutely incredible. Not even 6 months, to be fair, because I thought they had a decent season last season in the league. I thought the way that Glasner ended the season before was absolutely exceptional. So the fact now that they've been demoted, it's. I understand people saying that, well, it's their own fault. They didn't plan ahead, and I get all that, but I still feel a little bit of sympathy for them because to win the FA Cup, I mean, first bit of silverware in their history, the way they went about it, then they go and beat Liverpool as well. It's just, I think the Crystal Palace fans that I've spoke to, yes, they are gutted they're not playing the Europa League, but because they've won the FA Cup, it's almost like they're still on cloud nine anyway. So, and I think they've got a great chance to win the Conference League. I really do. But they're still on cloud nine from winning the FA Cup. So, yes, they're gutted that they're not in the Europa League, but it's almost like a soft cushion. Do you know what I mean? Where they're almost like, oh, I get it, but you'll never, ever be able to take away the joy and the ecstasy them fans felt when they won that FA Cup, regardless.
Oh, 100% agree with you on that. I mean, but it's about the situation now and going forward. That moment when they won the FA Cup, final whistle goes, or that goal goes in, or they lift the cup, whichever the moment was for Palace fans individually, that special moment is never going to be taken away from them. Whether they're in the Europa League, Europa Conference League, whether they, lose 20 million, lose Mark Gahey this summer, whatever it is, that moment can't ever be taken away from them. So they've had it, and it's a beautiful thing that will be with them lifelong. Yeah. So I'll make you absolutely right on that. And by the way, how many clouds are there? Because if they were on cloud 9 after that, and then they won the Community Shield, are they on cloud 10?
Well, do you know what? I think for certain clubs, Arsenal. So when they win,
are they on cloud 1?
Right, when they win the Community Shield, like people will use that as a stick to beat them with, right? But with a side like Crystal Palace, who haven't won many trophies in their club's history, it's almost a badge of honour to say, well, there's another trophy for them. And I kind of understand that. Although I hate it that it's thrown at Arsenal the way it is, for Crystal Palace, and to go and beat City and to beat Liverpool, who we all expect now. I mean, I've heard some people talking about the Premier League done. Like with Liverpool, with the signs they make, and if they get his season's done. Nah. For Palace to go and do that in the manner they did it as well, I know it was on penalties, I thought they were exceptional. So, yeah, I totally get what you're saying. The
reason is the expectations. So with Arsenal and the spending and the history, you expect Arsenal to be winning bigger cups than even the FA Cup.
Of course.
For example, they should be winning Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues. And that is ultimately, eventually, what Mikel Arteta should be judged on, even though he's not really being judged on it now for some strange reason. But with Crystal Palace, and by the way, here's a little stat, right? Crystal Palace yesterday became the first club since Derby County in 1975, your old club.
I wasn't playing then, Nate.
To win, well, you weren't selected.
No, it was 1975.
To win the Community Shield, first time they've appeared in it. Wow. So that's why it's such a big thing. I mean, it's only their second trophy after the FA Cup in May. So it's different expectations for different clubs. But I think that Crystal Palace have got themselves a big problem. There's been no real recruitment to speak of. They've signed a couple of players, but nobody of any note this summer. There's been no big outs. So Eze stayed and Gay stayed. But I think that's all because they were waiting to see what happened with this. And now they've lost the appeal. So they're £20 million down, reportedly. Now I think we might see some movement in the transfer market. But look, it means they're not in the Europa League. They are in the Europa Conference League, and there is that little thing, as you say, they've possibly got a better chance of winning it. So there's a positive way of looking at it, a positive spin to put on it. Simon Jordan was alongside Jim White this morning when the story broke. Martin O'Neill was on the show as well. Simon had his say on where the blame should lie.
You can win any of these competitions, like the League Cup and the FA Cup, and get into European competition. And half the teams in the league are able to achieve it. So the fact they didn't prepare for this is poor. And it's very easy to make Textor the villain of the piece. If you want to make him the villain of the piece with Leon, fine. You can have our questions to argue over there. If you sell your shares to somebody, and then you allow him to go buy a majority shareholding in another football club, and you don't resolve the issue for a rule that's been existing for 17 years, and then you watched it play out in 2017 with RB, so you knew the parameters, you knew the dynamics of it, then it's on you. And you can blame...
On who?
On the current management of Crystal Palace. It's on Blitzer, it's on Harris, and it's on Parish.
I think he's absolutely right there. I think it is on those who are running Crystal Palace right now. I think where people have got it slightly wrong is they've said it's a stupid rule. I don't think it is a stupid rule, because just say John Textor had, and what he had was 43% stake in Palace until it was sold in June after they'd won the Cup. And he's a majority owner in Lyon. Just say Lyon were playing Palace in the Europa League final. Yeah. There'd be all sorts of questions about a conflict of interest there. So you can't have a situation where somebody has a big share in two different clubs, okay, playing in the same European competition. So I understand why the rule is there. But I think Simon's got that right. You have to look at the people running Crystal Palace. And what they basically said, when they took Textor's money, what they basically said was, we don't think this side and this manager are going to get us into Europe. We don't think he's going to get us into a league position to finish in any European competition. We don't think he's going to win a cup to win us a place in Europe. They basically didn't even consider that. It's a lack of confidence in the players and the manager. It's a lack of ambition as well. And possibly it's a naivety in there, because Palace haven't been there with winning stuff and getting into Europe. Maybe they just didn't even consider that possibility when they took Textor's money.
Do you know what? I think that's the biggest thing. I think, as you said there, they just... Because if you look at Palace's history, certainly in Premier League terms, and I know it's a bit of a laugh and a joke with certain people, but it's like, where are Palace going to finish? 12th. It's always 12th. They're going to have no cup run, but it will just be, they'll get to the end of the season where they're safe, and it will just almost kind of play out. And I think they've probably looked at that again, and they've probably, because where did they finish again, Palace? 12th.
Yeah.
Right. So the league form is completely justified, because you're like, well, look where they finish. They finish there every year. But you're right, with the cup run, I think that's where, if you looked at Glasner's record and what he does at various clubs, he wins trophies. Now, I understand again where putting the shares into a trust from John Textor, because he had all that time to do it. Now, I think they were playing Millwall in, what was it, the 5th round, maybe the FA Cup or something. So there was still a long distance. But you're right. If you plan and go, do you know what? Potentially, Glasner's record, he's good in cup competitions. He ultimately wins trophies wherever he goes. Just on the safe side, you know what? It probably the likelihood we've got to go for some big teams that were still left in the competition, right? Because they had to smash Villa in the semi-finals, wasn't it? And then City in the final. Just on the off chance it happens, we'll just put him into trust. It probably won't happen, but if it does, at least we're prepared. And that's why I'm a little bit... I'm gutted for Palace, but then you're almost like, well, if you just maybe thought a little bit ahead, then you won't find yourself in this situation. So there probably are people to blame, but ultimately Crystal Palace, the players and the supporters are the ones that are missing out.
I think that when I saw the banner from the Palace fans, UEFA Mafia, it said, with the flares going off behind it yesterday at Wembley, it was quite a startling image. And you can understand the passion of those fans and why they're upset. You can even understand why they're upset with UEFA, but they probably need to look at the people running their own club as well. Listen, we'll take your calls on it, Palace fans. How are you feeling about your European demotion? 03717 22 33 44. Benty's back. I'm back on drive for one day only. Goldstein will be back tomorrow. tune. You love a bit of the Smiths, don't you?
Yeah, Smiths.
Yeah.
Smith Brothers, like it.
Smiths Brothers?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Smiths. that implies there's more than one. Smiths.
Lost your mind. It is Drive on talkSPORT. I'm Adrian Durham. He's Darren Bent. Still to come, we'll bring you the return of the Daily Arsenal. You've all wanted it. Just quickly, Tottenham have opened talks with Man City to sign winger Savinho. Interesting.
Surprising, that one. That one came out the blue, that.
Yeah.
I quite liked him.
Yeah, I thought he was tricky.
Yeah.
Could do a bit more maybe, but yeah, interesting one. And Chelsea striker Nicholas Jackson favours a move to Newcastle this summer. I bet he does.
Honestly.
Do you fancy a move to Newcastle? No, you don't really, obviously, given your history.
Oh.
And former Crystal Palace owner Simon Jordan was alongside Jim White and Martin O'Neill earlier today on talkSPORT. He explained why he had thought the club would win their appeal against European demotion.
Because I believed that Parish had a strong enough case for decisive influence, and clearly he didn't. My understanding of the situation was there was no debate who ran the football club. No debate whatsoever, and it was easily provable. Well, it wasn't, was it? So if you believe that from the outset, and I'm not in their boardroom anymore, I don't know what the mechanics of their shareholders' agreements did tell, but I had a reasonable assumption based upon what I'm led to believe by the controlling influence of Crystal Palace Football Club that decisive influence was easily provable. Well, it wasn't, and he even said himself on an interview, which gobsmacked me, well, influence can come from anywhere. It can come from my son. It can come from fans. No, influence is, no, I've got no influence. I make decisions.
If you're watching that on the talkSPORT YouTube channel, he was struggling with his earpiece as well.
Yeah,
Simon Jordan. He ain't got a clue what was going on with his.
A very irate in here about Palace, isn't he? He's not busy, like.
I think it's interesting. Obviously, listen, the history is obvious. Him and Steve Parish don't get on at all, right?
I think.
He kept in. I was listening to it this morning, and he kept saying, "This isn't about me not getting on with Steve." I'm thinking, "It really, come on." But actually, the points he was making were absolutely spot on. Just had a text in. I've lost it now. I don't know who sent it, but it was asking why is it Palace who suffer and not Leon? It's because, and it's a good question and needs answering. It's because. Texter is a majority shareholder in Leon, therefore has a controlling interest in that club, whereas it's a decisive influence that he's been deemed to have in Crystal Palace when they won the FA Cup up until his shares were sold in June. So listen, we're taking your calls, Palace fans. How you feeling about European demotion and what it might mean for the football club? 03717 22 33 44. Let's speak to Krishna as a Palace fan who's with us on talkSPORT. How you doing?
Hi guys, great show. Adrian, I have to say as well, your post-match analysis of the Wembley Cup final was amazing, you know.
That's really cool. I've had a lot of people say that, but I tell you what, some people think that we script everything, but that was purely from the heart. I could put myself in the shoes of the Palace fans, mate, and just knew what it meant to you guys, and that's a moment that lasts longer than a lot of things in your life. Believe it, if not, that is the biggest moment in your life, possibly. Who knows? But yeah, it's a fantastic moment for you.
Thank you. And listen, I just calling really just to agree with Benty. Really, I think it's harsh, but I think rules are rules. But I believe we should have got through. But look, I'm looking at the other side of it. I think we can do what West Ham did a couple of years ago. And win the conference. And I believe if you win the conference, you get entrance into the Europa League the following year. So I think, yes, we're probably losing out on £20 million this summer, but I think in the long term, we've got back-to-back seasons potentially of Europe.
Do you know what? It's a really good point in that, because I think Palace, and I've said it before, I've got a fantastic opportunity of winning the Conference League. I really do. Given some of the teams that Chelsea played there last season, I've got no doubts Palace can beat these teams. I think Palace's biggest battle is going to be holding on to players. And by the way, the most important person is the manager. Because anyone looking at him, Glasner going, like Palace had 12th every season, we said about it, hadn't won anything. For him to come in such a short space of time, by the way, and do what he's done, surely you're looking at him and going, do you know what? Some of these teams that start off slowly this season, I reckon there's about 4 or 5 teams that are looking at him going, we'll have him. You know what?
I think, and Krishna, thanks for the call, mate. I think that you're guilty of being arrogant as an Englishman.
Why?
You know why? I mean, I've had a lot of people say this. I give them a great chance of winning the Europa Conference League. You look at Chelsea last season. See how much Chelsea spent. See the players that they had.
Yeah.
What about the season before when Aston Villa didn't win it?
Yeah.
You're thinking that it's a load of rubbish teams from across Europe, and therefore the Premier League team is going to dominate.
No, but the reason why I say that is because 2 years ago, teams were dropping into that from the Europa. Last year, it was start to finish. Now, no disrespect, Shamrock Rovers. Right, Chelsea played.
Where were they? That was in the group stage,
Yeah,
right?
my point is they're in this competition.
Okay.
That you cannot tell me. Even Chelsea in the semi-final. Remind me to play in the semi-final.
Well, hang on a second. Would you say the Crystal Palace would comfortably beat
Shamrock Rovers? Yes.
Fiorentina?
Yeah, I would.
Really?
Yeah, I would.
Did you see how hard it was for West Ham to get past them in the final? They absolutely gave up possession.
I understand all that, but I think this season just gone with teams not dropping into certain competitions, I think it's made it easier. Has it not?
Okay, but you've got to factor in £20 million loss, which, do they keep Mark Gahey and he goes for free next summer, or do they sell him now?
And that's why I said their biggest fight is going to be holding on to these players and the manager.
Okay.
If they don't lose anyone, then I think they've got Adam Wharton, one of the best young midfield players up and coming.
Yep.
Mark Gahey, we all wax lyrical about him. Eze, Mateta, all of a sudden, he can't stop scoring goals. Munez, the right back, good player. They've got so many good players. The goalkeeper, Henderson, there's an argument he could be England's number one now in terms of his performances.
I was literally just about to say that to you.
Exactly. So you start looking at this team and then you look at the manager who knows how to navigate through European competition. There's no reason why they can't win it.
Okay, well, the reason is, you're right, that players might go.
Yeah, that's the only thing I think could derail them.
We're a week away from the start, less than a week away from the start of the Premier League season. Are those players going to be staying? Eze and Gahey are probably the biggest two in that. I think if they lose Mark Gahey as captain, leader at the back,
exceptional.
I mean, you're taking out a massive core of your team, and I think that could be a bit of a struggle. I'm not saying that Palace would go down if they lose Mark Gahey. I think they'll have enough to stay in the division. Could they be competitive even in the Europa Conference League? I'm not entirely sure. So you are guilty of being arrogant, I'm afraid. On the game itself, the penalty shootout was crazy. 5 out of the 10 didn't hit the back of the net, and people were having a go at the Lionesses. The Sweden shootout where it went all wrong. Listen, this is happening more and more, and I think it's possibly because of maybe some of the laws of the game. Maybe it's because of keepers getting better, being taught better by goalkeeping coaches. I don't know.
You know, there is that, but also what's going on with the run-ups? Whatever happened to people putting the ball down 10 yards, 6 yards back, sprint up to the ball, smash it? All this like stop starting, stuttering. Won't get me doing that.
Okay, so Eberechi Chies's was the worst. I mean, probably Mo Salah's might have been deemed worse.
But Harvey Elliott's. He like scuffed it like towards the middle of the goal-ish.
What is he thinking when he's doing that? But I think the Eze one, in terms of the run-up, I mean, that was the worst because he has stuttered his run-up and then he's stopped over the ball, which gives the keeper a massive advantage. And all the time, he's not looking at the ball, he's eyeballing the keeper. And the keeper's just standing there.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you doing?
I always think you can't generate enough power. When you do that, and you're right, that the extreme of the stutter, because he stutters, almost stops, and there's fair play to the goalkeeper, Alisson, because he just doesn't move, does he? Just stays there. I just think you can't generate enough power. I know there were some good ones, like SARS was a nice penalty, but yeah, the run-up for me, a bit uncomfortable with that.
Devaney's was exceptional. The winning penalty.
Wow, whack. See, none of this stutter rubbish.
Just run up to the thing and thump it into the top corner. I mean, if you're all professional footballers, you all know how to kick a ball. You can direct it where you want it to go, right?
Yeah.
You can kick it really hard. Just slam it into the top corner. No keeper's going to save it.
That was some pen.
It was a brilliant pen, under pressure as well. So fair play to the young lad for that. Mo Salah's was dreadful. It's still travelling into orbit now. I mean, I don't know what he's thinking of because that was a short run-up, but he actually sprinted, didn't he?
Yeah.
Short run-ups. Very strange how they approach these penalties. But on Dean Henderson, I'm going to be slaughtered for this because I really analyse Jordan Pickford's performances, not just his saves and commanding of the box, his distribution as well. I analyse all his performances for England because he is England's undisputed number one. There's nobody close to him.
Doubt.
But Henderson is making a big case to say, hang on, what about me? And we need some competition in nets.
You do, because I thought for a little while, I thought Ramsdale was going to be probably the one that was going to push him when he got to Arsenal. Then Nick Pope had a little bit as well. And Jordan Pickford, fair play. Certainly in my era of goalkeeping, he'd probably be at the top in terms for England. But Dean Henderson's performances, big saves and penalty shootouts. I mean, do you know what he's got as well? And I quite like it. Some people don't. I like it. He's got that arrogance as well. That arrogance to almost like, not outpsych the penalty taker, but just doffing the cap as well. And all this, he's got that arrogance as if to say, I know I'm the best goalkeeper. I think me and you interviewed him a couple of years back, just before the Euros. Remember at Wembley?
Right, yeah.
I remember how confident he was then. About he thought he was going to be Manchester United's number one. He thought, right, it's about him now. And obviously it didn't work out that way, unfortunately, for him. But the way he's putting in his performances for Palace, he must be in Thomas Tuchel's mind, looking at him going, he's now maybe going to be the closest competition to Jordan Pickford.
Mate, here's a question, very briefly. I'll leave it hanging in the air. he would be United's number one now.
Yeah, 100%.
He's still there, so he was probably right. At the time we interviewed him, and I remember it was at Box Park, Wembley, wasn't
Correct.
it? And because he got injured for the Euros, and he came to talk to us, which was very kind of him. But I remember the interview and thinking I'd never interviewed a footballer more confident than Dean. And I've never met a footballer with the confidence, stroke arrogance, and it's that cliche of a good arrogance.
Yeah.
I just thought, wow, this guy really properly believes in himself, and he's shown that with his performances. And also, if you're telling me that Jordan Pickford's distribution is way better, I analysed his distribution against Andorra when we won 1-0.
Yeah.
He had nothing to save. There was nothing on target, so you couldn't really judge him on a clean sheet. So I was looking at his distribution. His short distribution outside the box was great, but it was so easy.
Yeah.
There was no high press or anything.
No.
But his long distribution was dreadful. Any balls that went to halfway or beyond didn't reach an England player.
No.
So if you're saying to me that Jordan Pickford's distribution sets him apart, I'm not sure that's the case anymore. So there could be a case to say Dean Henderson is the man. Listen, we'll still take your calls on that. 03717223344. Still to come, we'll be discussing Jack Grealish's imminent move to Everton. But first, time for no Googling. Oh, I love this. Yeah. I actually love listening to this and not Googling. I must be the only one who doesn't Google.
Trust me. I even do it in here.
Over the weekend, one player scored a goal in England's top 4 leagues for the 20th consecutive season. We want to know, can you name that player? I didn't even have to look at the answer for this. I knew the answer to this, okay? Obviously, I did all the games, goals as they go in on Saturday, so I knew the answer to this. What I will say is Darren Bent should know the answer to this. We will give you the answer very shortly on Drive.
What football ground are you thinking of when someone says this?
Really tough place to go. Difficult place to go. Such a tough place to go.
It's a tough place to go at the moment.
It was a really difficult place to go.
But what are the toughest places to go, really? We've had a look. Forget a cold, wet Tuesday night in Stoke. Try a blizzard 220 miles inside the Arctic Circle. When Chelsea lost at Tromsø in Norway in the Cup Winners' Cup, a massive snowstorm hit at half-time. These two boys and their brooms were absolutely no match for it. We're staying in Scandinavia for Scotland's toughest away day on the side of a cliff in the Faroe Islands in Euro 2000 qualifying. The pitch at Toftir was like a cowfield, never mind those gale-force winds. The Faroe Islands part-timers equalised in stoppage time. Cue Scandi scenes. But away trips don't come tougher than playing Bolivia at altitude in La Paz. Or so we thought. The Bolivians have now taken home advantage to another level, literally 500 metres further up the Andes to the country's highest city, El Alto, 4,100 metres above sea level. Meanwhile, the loudest stadium in world football officially is the Ali Sami Yen, where Galatasaray fans set a world record of 131 decibels. That's louder than Motorhead. But our most intimidating away day is in Wales. Prison team HMP Prescoed was briefly kicked out the Gwent League over concerns about young opposition having to go in there. Now that's a tough place to go.
No Googling. Okay, so the question was over the weekend. One player scored a goal in England's top 4 leagues for the 20th consecutive season. I've even given him clues. Okay, and the big clue, he gave away a penalty as well. And in the summer, he moved from one club to another and went up a division with the move. Okay, and you still haven't got it.
No, I mean they're very broad clues. I mean, how many people gave a penalty away at the weekend? Loads.
Yeah, but how many also scored? And how many moved up a division in the summer? You put all these things together, so you need to piece together the clues, Darren Bent.
Give me the club.
Right, the club he moved to,
yeah,
Barnsley.
Oh, I mean...
How many more clues do you want? Do you want the club he moved from? Because that might give it away,
yeah,
actually. The club he moved from was Notts County.
Oh, got it.
Go on.
McGoldrick.
David McGoldrick. Should you have known that?
Yeah, kind of.
You're underplaying it now, aren't you? You should.
I mean,
absolutely.
20 years, that's fair play to him, that.
20 seasons scoring a goal. 20 straight seasons he's scored in one of England's top 4 leagues. That is seriously impressive.
Do you know what? He's a good footballer. In some respects, underrated. I mean, when he was brilliant at Ipswich. Oh, brilliantly. Him and Darryl, I think it was him and Murphy up front.
Yeah, that's
or him and Waghorn. It might have been him and Waghorn or him and Murphy. Both good footballers, but he gets on the ball. Really, really good. I think he's had injuries, though, isn't he? That's really what's costing him, because the way he plays the game, and certainly his touch and the way he can manipulate the ball, good player.
But getting a load of goals in the last 2 seasons with Notts County, and in this season he's started well with Barnsley as well. They were 2 down, 1-3-2.
Yeah, but you should get Borough.
He got the winner. You what?
Get Borough.
Anybody would do. We'll put him in goal, for heaven's sake. Anyway, so there you go. More no Googling to come a little bit later on. Now, rising star Moses Itama faces fellow Brits, the legend Dillian White, in a huge fight this Saturday night. It's live right here on talkSPORT.
It's the biggest fight of my life and career.
Dillian, the body snatcher.
Everyone's saying no break. It is the biggest, hardest fight the hardest puncher, the quickest puncher, the fastest guy.
Tauma is going looking for another showreel knockout. Moses Tauma can take him out right now.
The strongest guy, the most intelligent, the most patient boxer.
He's a better mover than Mike Tyson, like a bit more fluid.
Oodles of natural talent.
I even phoned Dylan, like, Dylan, I don't know why you're taking this fight.
2 national titles, 3 European gold medals, and a world title. As a professional, I'm looking to replicate that.
Everyone portray him as a superhuman. That's what I'm approaching the fight. I'm fighting Superman.
Tauma! Oh, that's it!
If he can beat Dylan White, then it's certainly the real deal.
Dillian Whyte is victorious!
Yeah, this Saturday, talkSPORT brings you live commentary of the huge heavyweight clash between rising star Moses Tauma and Dillian Whyte in Saudi Arabia. Our top team will be out in Riyadh as ever, bringing you all the action from a busy fight week before taking you closer to the action than anywhere else with our ringside coverage and live watch-along as well. Tauma spoke to our very own Spencer Oliver live on White and Jordan earlier today. He said he's fully focused on the task at hand this weekend.
It's a good fight for me. Personally, obviously, I've heard all the talks that's coming with this fight. I'm just trying to lock it out and kind of do my job. Dillian Whyte is obviously a serious contender. I don't know what kind of game he's playing outside the ring, but I know that he's lost a lot of weight. He's taking his fight serious, and he's coming to obviously trying to ruin the party. So it's obviously my job to let that not happen.
Very interesting. Let's get more now as we cross live to Saudi Arabia to build up to a massive weekend of boxing with talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver. Spencer, how you doing?
Adrian, Darren, how are you both doing? Yeah, very well out here. Yeah, been good to catch up with all the guys. And yeah, Dillian Whyte looks in incredible shape. He's shredded himself down. He knows this is the last roll of the dice, but also a huge opportunity. Moses Tauma, the young hotshot, only 20 years of age, 12 fights in, is #1 with the WBO. So there's a lot on the line here with Alexander Usyk. If he decides to vacate that title, Joseph Parker being the interim champion, the winner of this fight could fight for the vacant world heavyweight title. That's what's on the line here.
Spencer, he's going to have to be shredded, isn't he, Dillian Whyte? He's got to be in the best shape of his life because he's 37. He's taking on a 20-year-old whose last fight was a 2-round knockout. So this is... A lot of people will look at it and say the fight, it's going to be one-sided. Are we doing Dillian Whyte a disservice there?
I think we are doing Dillian Whyte a disservice because on paper you look at it and you go, you're right in what you say there. You've got a 20-year-old kid and you look at his record and you go, his last 8 fights have gone a combined 11 rounds between the last 8 fights. But you look at them and some of the names there like Marius Wack and Dempsey McKean, you go, they were credible opponents, like, you know, opponents that we were expecting that Moses to get a few rounds out of. But he's just steamrolling through every one of them. You know, he's sort of like... He's like, it reminds you of like a young Mike Tyson when you go back in the day when he was making that wave where he was just crashing through everyone. Moses is doing the same right now, but Dillian Whyte is a serious contender. When you think about this, right, guys, you go like Dillian Whyte, who's been there, seen it, done it, WBC interim champion, and you look at him, you go, he's 37 years of age. Dillian Whyte's son is actually 4 years older than Moses Tauma. Work that out. You go, it's just like, it's crazy.
So for Moses, this is a big step up against Dillian Whyte, and as you said there, Spence, do you think that's going to be a bit of a problem if the fight goes deeper into the round, later rounds? Of course, we've not seen Moses do that. I think 6 is the most he's ever got to. Do you think that might start to favour Dillian a little bit?
Absolutely. Look, Dillian Whyte is a proven campaigner. He goes 12 rounds. He knows how to grind it out. We remember that trilogy he had with Derek Chisora, the wars he had. Sorry, with Derek Chisora, the 2 fights, and you just looked at those and you go, like, he's proven. He's done. You know, we don't know. They're the answers we don't know about Moses Tauma because he's blasting everyone away. He's a slick southpaw with heavy hands, and the rumours have been circulating from the gyms when he was down sparring people like Dillian Whyte, Anthony Joshua, when he was 15 years of age. This kid used to go to the gym in his school uniform, get changed, and give these fighters all sorts of problems. You know, everybody talks about this kid being the next heavyweight superstar, but if he gets dragged into those deep later rounds and it becomes a psychological battle over the physicalities when they leave the body, then it's going to be interesting. We don't know that. I don't think Moses Tauma knows that, but we may find that out with Dillian Whyte. That's the interesting thing about this fight.
I mean, when you look at Dillian as well, I mean, he's been there, he's done that. It's probably his last good performance was against Povetkin when he absolutely destroyed him in 4 rounds. Could we see a career best performance from Dillian White, do you think?
I think we need to see a career best performance from Dillian. You know, when you look at it and you go like, look, Dillian's only ever lost to world-class opposition. That is for sure. And Moses Atama has near competed at near that level. It's a calculated gamble from their side, but Frank Warren is brilliant at doing that, developing fighters. And Moses, out of nowhere, has put himself into a position of WBO #1. So where does he go from there? You know, what sort of fighters do you put him in with? And I feel that they feel that Dillian White, who's got a great resume, a great name, the timing could be right here. But when I saw Dillian, I've got to say, guys, like, you know, if you look at like the last fight when he boxed Ebenezer Teti, a guy that he was expected to blow away, and he won in 7 rounds and looks a little bit out of shape and a little bit lazy and at times very, very sloppy. And you look at this Dillian White that's turned up here, you go, we've got a different guy going in here, a guy that knows his career is on the line. He said it to me himself, if I lose this fight, where do I go? I've got nowhere to go, but it's a must-win because I've got a chance here to put myself right back in the mix and possibly get a world title shot off the back of it.
And Spencer, listen, my favourite fight, probably one of my favourite fights in the modern era has been Dillian White against Anthony Joshua 10 years ago when Moses Itama was 10 years old. But that fight really was a sliding doors moment, I think, for Dillian White. He probably should have won the fight. If you look back at it, he will feel he should have won the fight. He didn't win the fight. And we've seen what's happened to his career since. He's had a good career, but not really an elite career, which he probably should have had with the skills that he's got. It's almost like he's still trying to prove a point, isn't it?
Absolutely, and you know, there's still a lot of fight left in him. You know, when you see him, he's got a wealth of experience, and he was WBC interim champion for so long. But you said it there, 2015 at the O2 Arena. I was there that night for the British and Commonwealth heavyweight title, Anthony Joshua versus Dillian White. That round 2, Dillian White hit Anthony Joshua on the chin with a left hook, and Joshua went like a rubber band. He went all over the place, didn't recover for the best part of 2/3 rounds before eventually getting knocked out in the 7th round. You go, Moses was 10 then. When Dillian turned pro in 2011, Moses was 6. I mean, it's just absolutely insane when you think about it. Like, we go, like, the ground is caught up, but Dillian White is still a very dangerous opponent. We know what Dillian White is. We know what he's going to bring. And he's talked about this. He's going to go straight out there and let his hands go. It's just whether Moses can compete at this level. And we find out a lot more about Moses Atama, I think, on Saturday night. That's the exciting thing. Do we have the real McCoy here? Do we have the next heavyweight great, a guy that people are talking about could reign for a long, long time? People talking about him even being bigger than Anthony Joshua. Could you ever believe that?
Incredible. Spenny, always good to see you. Always good to talk to you. Thank you very much. Enjoy it this weekend. This Saturday, DAZN brings you 5 huge fights in one night. Unbeaten rising star Moses Itama takes on the proven and dangerous Dillian White in a heavyweight showdown, plus action from Nick Ball as well. Don't miss it this Saturday, August 16th. Watch only on DAZN.
Boxing update on talkSPORT with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Buy now at dazn.com/boxing.
Now, I was speaking to an Everton fan at the weekend who wasn't actually that impressed that they might be signing Jack Grealish. Couldn't believe it. A treble winner, England international. What will be wrong with that? We'll talk about that next on the show. You are listening to Drive on talkSPORT. I'm Adrian Durham, in for Andy Goldstein for one day only. And alongside Darren Benty's back. We haven't made enough of this. Benty is back.
Yeah, with a dodgy knee.
Yeah, he injured himself. Shall I tell him how you injured yourself?
Can do. If you like.
He banged his knee on a slide at a swimming pool.
No, that's a lie.
You did?
No, I slipped next to the swimming pool and banged my knee on the concrete, not the slide.
Okay. Oh, right, even worse then.
Yeah,
right.
slide. Blame my kids for wetting the floor. Their fault.
It was a dive. I'm sorry. Still to come, we'll bring you the return of the Daily Arsenal's coming up at 5. So many people looking forward to that.
I bet they are.
Now, though, it's time for this.
Paddy's Performers on talkSPORT with Paddy Power. Reviewing the top ballers, performers and goal scorers from the latest footballing action. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
It is time for Paddy's Performers in association with Drive's official betting partner, Paddy Power. Today we're looking forward to the first weekend of the new Premier League season, nominating the players we think will make a difference and be Paddy's Performers. This is tough because this is like before the start of the season. We're going to pick out somebody. They're going to be useless, and this will be thrown back at us. But who are you going for?
So I've probably gone for an obvious one, Victor Gyökeres.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Gyökeres.
Why?
We saw 54 goals last season for Sporting. Maybe took him a couple of games longer than he would have liked to get off the mark for Arsenal, even albeit being pre-season, but scored a great header at the weekend. Really striker's instinct goal, got across the front post. Header, lovely header. I just expect him to have a big impact at the game against Manchester United this weekend. I really do.
It was a great header from a Zubimendi ball, which was brilliant.
Yeah, just left into an area. It's almost saying, I'm going to put it into that space. And to be fair to Gyökeres, he's got himself there. Great header. And that will give him confidence because, listen, I've been there. Going into a season off the back of scoring in pre-season gives you a massive boost. Going into a season without getting any goals, you're a little bit apprehensive. The Arsenal fans may be a little bit apprehensive. They want to see him score. The fact he's got that the last home game before the season starts, he's ready to go.
Okay, so you've gone for the man who wasn't good enough for Brighton. Fair enough.
Honestly.
You okay with that?
Daily Arsenal in 7 minutes. Can't wait for that.
Just saying. I'm actually going for a midfielder. Leeds new signing Anton Stack, German international. And the reason is because actually Leeds scored a load of goals last season in winning the division. But I think that they've needed to strengthen at the back. They have done, and I'm including the midfield in that.
Of course.
And he is going to be absolutely crucial. They've got Ao Tanaka as
how good's he, by the way?
Terrific player. I could have picked him.
Yeah.
But this guy, Stack, has been great in pre-season. So I think that those kind of players for Leeds are going to be all important. Really looking forward to seeing them Monday night. It's live on talkSPORT. Leeds against Everton. Just seeing how they shape up. I'm not expecting Leeds to blitz teams, score 3 or 4 goals Bielsa style. Or concede 5 or 6 Bielsa style. Yeah. I'm expecting the games to be a bit tighter because Daniel Farke's concentrated on the defensive aspects of the team, and this guy I think is crucial.
Well, do you know, it's a big season for him, by the way, Daniel Farke.
Absolutely.
Because there's question marks around him. I remember people calling up saying, thank you for everything you've done getting us promoted again, but off you go. Because his performances in the Premier League, certainly with Norwich as well, haven't been good enough. But yeah, Anton Stack, I think, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, by the way, Leeds, I think, have only got 2 fullbacks in the building, which is not going to be enough for a whole season, so we'll see if they get more before the window closes. But you've gone for Gyökeres, I've gone for Anton Stack. Let's see what happens. With Stack, Leeds Everton, Monday night live on talkSPORT. Leeds to win 6-4. And with Gyökeres, Man United Arsenal, that's on Saturday. Gyökeres to score first, 7-2, score anytime. 6-5 is decent, actually. So that's Paddy's Performers for today. Catch up with the latest odds at paddypower.com. 18 plus only. begambleaware.org.
Paddy's Performers on talkSPORT with Paddy Power. Reviewing the top ballers, performers and goal scorers from the latest footballing action. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Now, talkSPORT understands that Everton have agreed a season-long loan deal with Man City to sign Jack Grealish. The deal reportedly includes a buying option of around £50 million, £50 million, with a medical due to take place today. We'll keep you updated when things change on that, when things move forward on that. Grealish had already accepted his City career was done and over. He's keen to play regular football with the World Cup next summer, of course. Grealish to Everton, I mean, no disrespect to Everton, but this is a huge step down, isn't it, for Jack Grealish?
Well, yeah, of course, you're going from a club that, I know they didn't win the league last year, but over the course of since he's been there, been trophy pigs, winning everything. Everton had previous seasons, bar the one just gone. I mean, struggling with relegations. I know they've had point deductions and things, but yes, it almost feels a little bit. I know they're different times, but remember the James Rodriguez one where he came in, big player. A lot was made of that appointment. Didn't quite work out for James Rodriguez in the Ancelotti era, but yes, it's a big moment for Jack. I think he needs it. Listen, I'm a huge fan of Jack, but and I know the way Jack plays, maybe numbers are not that important, but he's better than that. I mean, 3 goals last season, 3 goals a year before that, and 5 goals a year before that. And compare that to someone like Rodri, a holding midfield player, who's got 9 goals in that time. He's got more than Rodri. So Rodri's got more than him. And if you look at other left wingers in the Premier League who we've completely ridiculed, people like Rashford, he's at 19 goals in that season. Martinelli's got 33 goals in the last 3 years in all comps. Anthony Gordon, 21 goals. Like, you can't tell me these players are a lot better than Jack. Jack's numbers have to be better than they have been. And I think if he gets an opportunity at Everton to go and play, I think he will be better.
If we look at the bigger picture of it, I mean, just quickly on this, at Villa, he was allowed to do what he wanted. He looked great. And we all thought, wow, what a player. He's the heartbeat of that team. But a lot of that was in the Championship. And yeah, he did it in the Premier League with Aston Villa and then goes to City and is asked to do something different. But he actually did it in the treble season. So I can't really understand what's gone wrong. I mean, is that to do with Grealish's mindset or what?
You know, it's a surprising one because whenever Jack's come on, I always thought he's looked okay. He's looked quite impressive. And you're right, that treble winning season, again, his numbers weren't particularly great, but he played 50 appearances that season in all comps, and he was a big part as to why they won so many trophies. But for whatever reason, it almost feels like Pep has almost lost faith with him. I think that's what it looks like to me. Like,
is he asking the question? Is he actually that good, Jack Grealish? Is he?
I think he's top draw. I do. When he's at it,
draw.
When he's at it, he's hard to play against.
When you say top draw, would Real Madrid sign him?
Maybe not, but then you'd almost put Man City at that time. I'm not saying they're nowhere near as big a club as Real Madrid, but in terms of winning trophies and competing at the top table, you put Man City up there, right?
Okay, but Man City want to get back there because they've had a fallow season and they need to get back to the very top, competing in the latter stage of the Champions League, competing for the title, if not winning the title. And they're thinking Jack Grealish isn't part of that.
No.
So I'm wondering if it's easy to say top level because he won the treble, but I'm wondering if he is actually top level. He looked top level at Aston Villa, played a big part, but without the numbers to back it up in that treble season. But overall, when we look back, is Everton his level?
Would you know? Let me ask you a question then, because would you say something then Jeremy Doku's an upgrade on him?
I would, yeah. I think there's more end product. There's more.
See, I'm yet to see. I think he's good, Jeremy Doku, but I don't look at him and go, wow, I can understand why they've got rid of Jack, because there's still times Doku can go past someone and you're thinking, right, it's the final cross or the final finish, and it's not quite there. So, but for Jack, it's almost about starting again, and that's no disrespect to Everton, who are a huge football club, but they've not been competing at the same levels as Manchester City. Jack, go there, get your head down. If David Moore gives you opportunity to play week in, week out, there's your opportunity to get yourself in that World Cup squad.
We'll talk about transfers a bit later in the show. And if you want more, talksport.com is the website. There'll be more on Jack Grealish's move to Everton on there. Brace yourself, Benty, because the Daily Arsenal's coming next.
Tyson Fury, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez. Just hearing these names makes you think money and the hundreds of millions of dollars, pounds or Saudi riyals in boxing. But that's at the top. At the bottom, it isn't quite the same. Even for those on the rise, there's not an awful lot of cash in the boxing world. And if you're just starting out, well, it can be a very costly exercise indeed. But don't take my word for it. Here's the former European champion, talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver.
You're turning professional and you're boxing, let's say, York Hall on a non-televised fight. You have to sell tickets to earn any money, but you have to cover the wages of your opponent as well. So if you don't have the ability to be able to sell enough tickets, you effectively have to pay to fight.
A far cry then from Jake Paul facing Mike Tyson in 2024, when the purse was reported to be around £48 million. But the vast amounts of cash lining the top dog's pockets isn't the norm in a typical fight.
Let's say you're lucky and you get between 5 and 10 grand. You're going to get 10 grand max for that. 10% goes to the trainer, 25% goes to the manager. Then we've got the tax man to pay as well. So we're cutting that money in at least half. So now you've got 5 grand for a 10-week camp. So you're talking about a guy here earning, he might be clearing 500 quid a week. How do you support a family on that? So boxers chase the dream. And, you know, there's probably 2% of them that actually make it.
So say you do make it and you start to rise up the ranks. Strikers Boxing, a training academy, says the mid-tier fighters can earn more, somewhere between £10,000 and £50,000 a fight, depending on record, profile, opponent and popularity of weight class. It's only at the top level does the real cash start flowing in, with the top-tier professionals, i.e. those going for titles, earning 6 figures a fight. Something else you'll have heard of is the terms prize fighter or journeyman. A prize fighter is, as it sounds, someone who picks up fights where they can and gets a nice big check if they win. Journeymen are the fighters who take on up-and-comers, effectively used for experience in the ring. Even if they're going up against a real prospect, a young Anthony Joshua, for example, these guys will be lucky to earn more than 10 grand. So the average boxer isn't as rich as you'd think.
You're listening to Drive on talkSPORT with me, Adrian Durham, and him, Darren Bent. Still to come, we'll be joined by our chief football correspondent, Alex Crook, for the latest on Crystal Palace's demotion to the Europa Conference League. But now, what does the new season hold for Arsenal?
Here's Madueke into the penalty area, running in behind, and he lashes it right-footed over the goalkeeper.
Outpacing the young defender, right-footed shot into the corner, and Gyökeres has scored.
He's the man that Arsenal have been looking for the last couple of seasons. Listen, I've got no affiliation with Arsenal, but I'm quite excited on their behalf.
Benty with a finish. Real Sociedad have scored.
He's somebody that has been really consistent for Real Sociedad. This will be elite.
I'm hoping for one more, Ray, because I think we could do with one more attacking option. Eberechi Eze is the name that, you know, I've had on my mind for quite some time.
Right, in the middle of that, Scott Minto, right? He said he's excited. I've no affiliation with Arsenal, excited for the fans and all that. Hang on a sec. This is Scott Minto, ex-Chelsea player, by the way, who actually said thanks to Arsenal a couple of seasons ago for challenging Man City. Thank you. We should be saying thank you to Arsenal. That's what he said.
Say thank you then. I want you to say it.
Why? Come on. No affiliation. I mean, there is a closet Arsenal fan, if ever there was one, Scott Minto, so you can take him up on that if you want. Arsenal have broken the bank this summer in an attempt to put an end to that wait for the Premier League title. How long now? 21 years, is it?
2004. Why? What a team we had then back then. I'm sick and tired of telling my kids Dad, are they ever going to... Listen, back in 2004, we were unbelievable.
What has happened since? They finished second in each of the last 3 seasons with Mikel Arteta searching for his first major trophy since winning the FA Cup in 2020 in his first season, but with Madueke signed, Zubimendi in, Norgard in midfield, Mosquera at the back, most importantly, Gyökeres up front through the door. How does their squad stack up against the rest of the league? Well, now it's time for the return of this. Fantastic. It's been a long time since...
Who made that?
Listen, let me just explain, okay? Because I know you and Andy have got yourselves a lot of new listeners, okay, over the last few years because it's such a brilliant show. But back in the day, okay, we used to do something called the Daily Arsenal. It was a daily feature about Arsenal. Gooners hated it because it pointed out all their flaws. There was 1 or 2 episodes of the Daily Arsenal that were quite positive. We actually had Dennis Bergkamp as a guest on the Daily Arsenal once. People don't believe that, but it's absolutely true.
Did he, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. He was on the phone. It was incredible. So it's not always been negative, but listen, it was Wenger's Arsenal. It was mostly negative, okay? And nobody could argue with it. They were just facts. And Arsenal fans, we know, notoriously cannot deal with facts, okay? So there's a couple of things I want to say here. You may have seen on talkSPORT social media platforms, I've done a 1 to 20 of what I think is going to happen with the Premier League. It's tricky doing it at this stage.
It's hard, isn't it? It's always hard.
I mean, if Liverpool sign Isak and Mark Gahey, they're going to walk the league. But at this moment in time, I think Arsenal are going to win the league.
Do you?
Yeah,
No, but genuinely, so you're laughing. Are you
laughing.
No, but you genuinely believe that?
No, I'm laughing at your face.
No, but genuinely you believe
I'm
that?
laughing at you falling over at a swimming pool, injuring yourself out for the start of the season. No, here's the reality, okay? This is the reality. What were the problems with Arsenal? They weren't defensively. They had a really good defence. Midfield, Zubimendi is an upgrade, I think, on what they had before. I think he's terrific. I think he's a brilliant player. And Gyökeres finishes the chances that they've been making. Now, you could point out certain areas of the team. I know Arsenal fans aren't totally on board with Martinelli. Maybe there's something to be done there. I'm not a big fan of the keeper, but, these are just opinions.
Yeah.
That side, having finished second 3 seasons running, with those improvements and the money spent, I think should be winning the league. And if they don't win the league with that side, that's got to be the end for Arteta. I mean, how many more upgrades to the squad do you want until you're ready? And by the way, he has set Gyökeres up for a fall by saying, you hear what he said about...
The chances.
When he goes through one-on-one, he's going to destroy you. Well, first game of the season, Man United, if he goes through one-on-one and blasts it into orbit, then Arteta's going to look like a fool. So sometimes I just think he should just step back a little bit. It's great for us that he says all this stuff, Arteta, but not great for Arsenal and not great for the players. But I think there's a big pressure on Arteta. But with those upgrades to the squad, he should be winning the league, shouldn't he?
But you know what? I still think, I look at Liverpool, and I still think they're the team to beat. And you're right, they're linked with Isak. And if they get him, then you go, oh my goodness, like, where are they weakest, Liverpool? Because they've got pretty much a lot of very, very good players, if not the best players in each position in the Premier League.
Yeah.
I look at Zubimendi, I really like him. Upgrade on Thomas Partey, I'm not quite sure about that. But that's obviously a different story. The Gyökeres, yes, can score goals, scored a bag full of goals at Sporting Lisbon. Can he do it in the Premier League? Now, we've seen it already. You look at Darwin Núñez, absolutely was brilliant at Benfica, came to Liverpool, struggled. I hope that doesn't happen with Gyökeres. But as you said there, if Arsenal create chances, I think he'll score them. I think his record in the Champions League was decent for Sporting as well. So that's where I've got a little bit of optimism that it wasn't just the Portuguese league. He was doing it across Europe as well. So I think that's good. I think Madueke, I would still start Martinelli on that left-hand side, but where Mikel Arteta, I think, has been quite shrewd. And I was one who said, Madueke, really? But what we have seen is Arsenal play Saka to death. Every single competition he plays.
That's a good point, yeah.
And he doesn't get any rest. Now you've generally got someone where you can go, do you know what, Saka, if we've got there's a Champions League game and then a weekend game, miss maybe one of the games or just come off the bench, Madueke can start.
Okay, you've gone through some of the players there, and here's another question, okay? When you go through Arsenal's starting 11, and I make the starting 11 this, it might be Ben White or Timber at fullback. I'll go with Timber, it doesn't really matter. Raya in goal, Timber, Lewis Skelly, Saliba, Gabriel. Then in midfield, Zubimendi, Rice, Odegaard, Saka, Gyökeres, Martinelli. If that's your 11, okay, how many of those players are the best in the Premier League in their position?
Well, do you know, I've written down the team and I've done that. So David Raya, Alisson's better. I think Alisson's is better.
Raya's mid-table there.
Is that what you think?
He's about 5'5".
He's a good goalkeeper, though.
No, he really isn't. Go on.
Right, so I've got Alisson. Right back's a weird one because for so long it's Kyle Walker or Trent. But I know he's only just come back from injury and his performances in the Club World Cup and for England since he's been back, I still think Reece James is the best.
Okay.
I think he's better.
You know Kyle Walker's still in the Premier League, right?
Yeah, but he's not the Kyle Walker that we're used to seeing, right?
All right, anti-Burnley, right?
No.
Bit Burnleyist.
No, but no.
Darren Bent hates Burnley.
No,
okay.
he doesn't. But I'd go Reece James probably is the best all round.
Okay.
I think Saliba on that right-hand side, centre half, I think is the best.
Yeah,
I think he is.
Yeah.
Gabriel's on the left, Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah, of course.
That's fact. Miles Lewis-Skelly, I think he can develop as the best, but I'd still go Cucurella.
Yep.
Or you can even go Kirkes maybe, but I think Cucurella for what he's done,
Vardy.
Spain. Yeah, see, I look at Vardy still as a centre half, playing left back.
Yeah, but even as a centre half playing left back, I'd have him.
I mean, he's decent, but I'd go Cucurella. Zubimendi, I like him. Caicedo, incredible.
Yeah.
I think Rodri, of course, Ballon d'Or winner, but had the big ACL injury, hasn't quite come back yet. But Caicedo is getting better and better. So I've gone for him in that position. I've gone Declan Rice as the best 8.
Okay, yep.
I'd go with that. Odegaard's nowhere near the best 10 right now. I don't know what's happened to him.
Who's ahead of him?
Palmer.
Yeah.
I think Eza, but I've got Eza come off the left, but we'll get to that in a minute. But
right.
Palmer. There was another 10 I thought of as well. Bruno Fernandes.
Morgan Gibbs-White.
Yeah, I like.
Pull your face at Morgan Gibbs.
No, I love Morgan Gibbs-White, but
turn down Spurs. Come on.
Yeah, I'd go Palmer or Bruno.
Yeah, I mean Palmer ends the conversation really.
Yeah,
he's better than Odegaard.
And Bruno last year was brilliant.
Yeah, you could say that. Yep.
So there, and then on the right, I love Saka, but you have to go Salah.
Yep.
Right.
So unlucky for Saka. Though.
So that position he plays, Gyökeres, I like him, but Haaland or Isak, take your pick.
Yeah.
And then Martinelli on the left, Eze's better.
Yeah.
Ezra's better than Martinelli.
I think there's a number of players better than Martinelli.
Yeah. So that's where you go, okay, well, I've only got 2 positions where they're the best in the league.
Okay.
That's Rice and Saliba.
Right. By the way, there's a question to be asked, which is he going to be Haaland or Højlund?
Mm-hmm.
We shall see.
Yeah.
Let's see how that goes. And it was a good goal against Bilbao at the weekend. With Odegaard, captain, but he got a lot of grief. And I think this is one of the things that could hold Arsenal back. If you think players don't look at social media, of course they do, right? And Arsenal are big on social media, and their fans have got a massive voice on social media. Even like half-time of the Bilbao friendly, they're basically saying we should get rid of Martinelli. I mean, it's unbelievable. So that's a powerful noise that those fans are making. And those fans, I think, could be detrimental to a player like Martin Odegaard, okay? If he is trusted by the manager, and I think he will be, he's the captain. I mean, if he starts the season as badly as he finished last season. Actually, right at the end, he wasn't that bad, but sort of first half of this calendar year, he wasn't good at all.
No, he wasn't.
So if he starts next season that bad again, what does he get? Dropped? Is he going to continue being captain? What?
Well, do you know what? I think for Odegaard, and he'd have to look himself in the mirror. I'm a big fan of this, Martin Odegaard, and I've sat on this show many a time and argued. I've tried to argue his case against Bruno. Now, last season, there was no argument. Bruno was head and shoulders above him. I don't know what's happened since the ankle injury, but he just hasn't looked the same. And even pre-season, he hasn't looked nowhere near the Odegaard we saw a couple of years ago. 6 goals last season in all comps, 11 assists. Not good enough for him. Not good enough for him at all. So I think last season it was a case of him being the captain, but if he doesn't play, who do you put in that position? Now, Nwaneri, I think, could be the natural successor. But other than that, you're scratching around saying, well, who can play there? You're almost trying to find solutions. I think if Arsenal were to go and sign Eza from Crystal Palace, then you've got an option there because he can play 10 or he can play off the left. And that will put him under more pressure because at the minute, he's the captain. He's not really being challenged or pushed. He's almost coasting through games at the minute. Decision-making hasn't quite been there. He has to start the season well, Wade. Because if he doesn't, because he almost used to initiate the press. He's not doing that anymore either. So something's happened there. Whether he's still carrying the knock, he's got to get himself back to the Odegaard that we know.
Are you saying then that with that 11 that we've just named, they're not going to win the Premier League?
I mean, they've got to start well. Arsenal have to start well this season because you look at what they've got coming up to start the season. Manchester United away. Arsenal's record at Old Trafford ain't great.
Yeah, but Man United. Come on.
I get it.
You can't claim that that's part of a tough start to the season.
Well, it is. No,
where they finished last season.
No, but I get it. But Arsenal don't do well there. And it's Manchester United, first game at Old Trafford, all these new signings, it's not going to be a walkover.
Listen to this, by the way. Listen to what Benty's saying. Celebrity Arsenal fan, Danny Benty. Listen, Arsenal used to win the league at Old Trafford. And now
Once.
it's tough going there. Where did they finish? What, 15th, 16th last season?
I get it, but what I'm saying is it's not...
Couldn't even beat Spurs in the Europa League final.
I get all that, but it feels like a new optimism.
Scared of Man United?
I'm not scared of them, but it's not easy. Then Leeds at home, you'd expect Arsenal to get that done. Then Liverpool away, Forest at home, decent. Man City, Newcastle away. That's a difficult start for Arsenal. But if they can go to Manchester United, which I believe they will do, and win, and it's a good performance, then away you go.
Okay, Man City have got a lot of ground to recover if they're going to win the title. Chelsea, maybe just too much, and defensively, some questions. Keeper questions as well. Liverpool, listen, the Liverpool captain, Virgil van Dijk, told talkSPORT yesterday after the Community Shield that they need a striker. That's the Liverpool captain saying that. They also need another centre-back because they've only really got two that are available at the moment. You know, beyond that, it's Endo going in at centre-half. So I'm just looking at it and thinking, Arsenal... It's there for them to win the title this season. Have I got that wrong? And we've been through the 11 for Arsenal. How many of the best players in the Premier League in their position do Arsenal have? You can join in 03717 223344. It's Drive on talkSPORT. I'm Adrian Durham in for Andy Goldstein. Darren Bent alongside me is back from his holidays. I'm told that you demanded I do this show. Is that right?
You?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Hey, listen, I want GOAT level.
Very
You know what I mean?
Very
Always.
kind. I just can't wait for Andy to get back and tell you all about what he's been doing and winning.
Can't wait for that. Wow.
Games of, is it pool he's playing?
9-ball pool.
Oh, right, okay. Anyway, still to come, we'll be joined by our chief football correspondent, Alex Crook, for the latest on Palace's demotion to the Europa Conference League. That has happened. Just quickly, Everton have agreed a season-long loan deal for City winger Jack Grealish. Man City's injury troubles have gotten worse. It emerged that Mateo Kovacic could be out until October. Phil Foden a doubt for the opening game of the season as well. We're taking your calls. How many of the best players in the Premier League in their positions do Arsenal have? 03717 223344. Very quickly, somebody's pointed out to me, Benty, that when we went through that list of Arsenal players, the alternatives you picked as better than the Arsenal ones, you had 4 Chelsea players in. So Chelsea are going to win the league, are they?
Do you know what? I think they're a lot closer than people think.
Whoa.
I mean, they've just won. We all perceive PSG to be the best team on the planet, unbeatable, and they've completely ripped them to pieces. They put 4 past AC Milan yesterday, I think it was.
Yeah.
I think they're going under the radar. They've recruited really well. They're young. They're hungry. They've got some of the best players in their positions. I mean, Palmer, no argument.
No, there is no argument there. Yeah.
Caicedo, no argument, really. Yeah. João Pedro's gone there. Delap's gone there. I think Chelsea maybe might be the ones that push Liverpool as well.
We shall see. Right, let's get to your call. I knew people would love the Daily Arsenal. If only back for a day. I knew they'd love it. Ricky's an Arsenal fan. How you doing, Ricky?
How you doing, lads? All right? Can you hear me all right?
Got you loud and clear?
Yeah, good. Yeah, I just want to get my point across because I'm absolutely fuming as an Arsenal fan and I don't understand, so maybe you can help me understand. If they don't sign any more players now, they're going to struggle to finish 4th. That's my opinion. I don't understand why Eze, that deal, didn't he have a transfer clause at some point? And now that's gone. It's expired, isn't it? There was a release clause for Eze.
I think there might have been one, and you're right. I think it might have expired, but I think there's a case that Arsenal might still go in for him.
But I don't get why. If you look how ruthless Liverpool and Man City have been, Eze should have been snapped up straight away. To be honest with you, I take Grealish. That could have been done. It's insane.
Okay, let's just go back. Row back a second. And a lot of that is about opinions. And Arteta is trusting Odegaard in the 10 role. Now, he'll be either proved right or wrong with that, Ricky. But what I want to ask you is this. You came on and said, if they don't make any more signings, Arsenal will struggle to finish 4th. That's a big, bold statement, bearing in mind that the signings that they've made already. What makes you think that best 11 for Arsenal is that bad?
I think Newcastle will finish harder than them. I think Chelsea will finish harder than them. Liverpool will, and Man City will. I just don't, honestly, I can't get my head around it. I'm fuming. Unless there's someone above Arteta telling him no, that is the only way Arteta gets a pass. And if he don't win anything this season, he needs to go.
I agree with that. Ricky, thanks for...
Do you know, the only thing, he mentioned Newcastle there, and I don't see where he feels Newcastle, because, yes, they've signed Elanga, good player, Aaron Ramsdale, big fan of his, of course. But other than that, they're arguably their best player wants out.
Yeah.
So if they don't get him...
Playing, no.
The backup, Callum Wilson's gone, obviously, as well. I like Ramirez, Joe Linton, and Tonali. That 3, I think, are fantastic.
Terrific players there, but
they won't say they've improved, especially if they lose Isak. So to put them above Arsenal, I'm a bit... I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I can't have that. I can understand why Arsenal fans might have some misgivings, but I think it's based on Martinelli not being great on the left-hand side. Well, you've talked about Madueke coming in, who I really rate him as a player. I think he's really good. And he can play on the left. He can also be a backup to Saka. So Saka doesn't play so many games, so that's an improvement.
Yeah.
The big question is Odegaard, because if he doesn't recapture that brilliant form, that is the big question. But that's Arteta's job. And where Ricky is spot on is that if he doesn't deliver this season, Arteta, that has got to be it. Let's speak to Ali, who's a Chelsea fan who's with us on the show. Hi, Ali.
Yeah, hi there, lads. You're all right?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Yeah, just want to bring up a point. A couple of weeks ago, Benty was on a show with Andy Goldstein, and he didn't put Chelsea as title contenders. But if I was to do like a combined 11 between Chelsea and Arsenal, I'd struggle to get past more than 4 Arsenal players in the Chelsea starting 11.
Yeah, I mean, back when I said that, obviously that you're talking about, that would have been last season. Talking about title contenders.
It was a month ago. It was about a month ago.
Yeah, it's the end of last season, isn't it?
Yeah, end of last season. Yeah, I mean, I've been on holiday for the last 3.5 weeks. It certainly wasn't then. But so I'm looking at the way you recruited, the way you dealt with the Club World Cup as well, and I still think I'd put Liverpool above you, Arsenal I'd put above you, and City. But what I'm saying is you're going under the radar. I think the way you've recruited the young players you're bringing in, they're young, they're hungry, they're all going to improve. I think I even said in the next couple of years that Chelsea would be challenging for the Premier League title.
But why would you put Arsenal ahead of Chelsea if they were to do a combined 11, more Chelsea players would get in?
Just because I think Arsenal are maybe a little bit further ahead of Chelsea.
See what it is, Ali. It's about, we had this conversation before off air. Yes, we're talking about individuals in their position, but when you look at a team together, that's a different thing that you're putting together there, and the team might function better than the set of individuals. So, yeah, I think you've asked a great question, Ali, and hopefully that answers it for you. I think, because Levi Colwill was out for a long term.
I like him as well, Levi.
Yeah, I hope he recovers, but he's out 8-9 months, I think. Mm-hmm. If Chelsea go and get Mark Gay back from Crystal Palace, I think Chelsea probably win the league. Yeah. Now, I know I've said Arsenal, but we're talking with a few weeks left of the window. So if things change dramatically, I mean, if Liverpool go and sign Gahey and Isak, it's no competition. Yeah. They've won the league. Mm. So, but I think if Chelsea improve at the back, centre half.
Well, do you know what it is? You look at relationships in teams, and you look at that. The most important parts, I'm not saying it's the most, but one of the most important parts of any team is that foundation. And when you look at Chelsea's team, bar the two centre-halves and a goalkeeper, the rest is set. Cucurella and Reece James. But if you've got Fofana, who can't stay fit, unfortunately, you've got Levi Colwill who's out, Robert Sanchez, there's question marks about him. That triangle is so important now. Arsenal's is rock solid with Saliba, Gabriel and David Raya.
Yeah.
So they've got that relationship. We're still trying to find Chelsea's best, that three. People don't think Sanchez is the best. Who's the best pair in the centre half? I think you're right. If they get Gahey, then all of a sudden you go, ooh, okay, here we go.
Yeah, I mean, he's a massive upgrade.
Massive.
In that position. Still to come, we'll be looking back on a brilliant opening weekend in the Championship. I was at a couple of games in the Championship this weekend. What a great division it is. So good that's back. First, time for no Googling. And after Palace's win on penalties at Wembley, we want to know, in the Premier League era, which player has scored the most goals in the Community Shield? Premier League era, which player has scored the most goals in the Community Shields? Can I give you a clue? No clues.
I'll get it.
No clues. All right. So we'll just leave that hanging there. Which player in the Premier League era has scored the most goals in the Community Shield?
What football ground are you thinking of when someone says this?
Really tough place to go. Difficult place to go. Such a tough place to go.
It's a tough place to go at the moment.
It was a really difficult place to go.
But what are the toughest places to go, really? We've had a look. Forget a cold, wet Tuesday night in Stoke. Try a blizzard 220 miles inside the Arctic Circle. When Chelsea lost at Tromsø in Norway in the Cup Winners' Cup, a massive snowstorm hit at half-time. These two boys and their brooms were absolutely no match for it. We're staying in Scandinavia for Scotland's toughest away day on the side of a cliff in the Faroe Islands in Euro 2000 qualifying. The pitch at Toftir was like a cow field, never mind those gale force winds. The Faroe Islands part-timers equalised in stoppage time. Cue Scandi scenes. But away trips don't come tougher than playing Bolivia at altitude in La Paz. Or so we thought. The Bolivians have now taken home advantage to another level, literally 500 metres further up the Andes to the country's highest city, El Alto, 4,100 metres above sea level. Meanwhile, the loudest stadium in world football officially is the Ali Sami Yen, where Galatasaray fans set a world record of 131 decibels. That's louder than Motorhead. But our most intimidating away day is in Wales. Prison team HMP Prescoed was briefly kicked out the Gwent League over concerns about young opposition having to go in there. Now that's a tough place to go.
It's Drive on talkSPORT. I'm Adrian Durham, in for Andy Goldstein. One day only. He's back tomorrow. Darren Bent is back from holiday. How long was your holiday?
3 weeks and 5 days.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, get the rest in. Rest, recuperate.
Yeah, so when's your next holiday? Couple of weeks?
No, throughout the season, I just head down. Away we go.
Okay.
Saturday, Tuesday's me.
Let's see. Let's see how true that is. A few moments ago, we asked you the second of today's no Googlings after Crystal Palace's win on penalties at Wembley yesterday. We asked, in the Premier League era, which player has scored the most goals in the Community Shield?
Eric Cantona.
Yeah, you got it straight away, didn't you?
Yeah, straight away. Two guesses.
Honestly,
how many's he got?
We went through Man United players. The only clue I gave him off air was it's a Man United player. No, I said Goldstein would get it.
Yeah.
So you guessed it was a Man United player. Honestly, he went Bruno Fernandes. I mean, how many Community Shields has Bruno Fernandes played?
Yeah, I thought
just ridiculous.
I mean, I went through some greats though. Van Nistelrooy, Rooney.
Yep.
Who else?
Solskjaer, York.
Yeah, Cole.
Yeah.
None of them. Cantona.
Mark Hughes. He said Mark Hughes.
Threw that in a scrambling. Absolutely scrambling.
You're struggling. We got there in the end. Have a guess how many goals?
6.
5. Terribly wrong again. Still to come, we'll be looking back at an incredible opening weekend in the Championship season. But first, earlier on, we heard the news that Crystal Palace had lost an appeal to the Court of Arbitration for Sport against their demotion from the Europa League. Palace qualified for the competition after winning the FA Cup last season, but were punished by UEFA for breaching multi-club ownership rules. Today's ruling means that Nottingham Forest will take their place in the Europa League. Let's get the latest on what this could mean for everybody involved. talkSPORT's chief football correspondent Alex Crook joins us. And Alex, the simple facts are that Palace are going to be demoted to the Europa Conference League. Forest will take their place in the Europa League. So, yeah, bad news for Palace, great news for Forest, isn't it?
Yeah, in a nutshell. I'm not sure it's great news for football, to be honest. I understand why there's a lot of pushback when it comes to multi-club ownership, but I just feel like UEFA and now the Court of Arbitration for Sport have made an example of the wrong club. There's far bigger clubs who are far further down the road when it comes to multi-club ownership than Crystal Palace. This to me looks like an oversight, a technicality really, because it dates back to when John Textor, the American businessman who's now been linked with the takeover of Sheffield Wednesday, owned a 43% stake in the club. Of course, he's since agreed a deal to sell his shares in Palace, but because the UEFA deadline was March the 1st and Textor, in their eyes, still had a big say in the running of the football club. That's why they decided to demote Palace to the Conference League, because Textor's other club that he was involved in at the time, Lyon, also compete in the Europa League. But basically, had Palace and John Textor had the foresight to do what Evangelos Marinakis did at Nottingham Forest when it looked like they might qualify for the Champions League, the same competition as another of Marinakis' clubs, Olympiacos, compete in, and put the shares in a blind trust, then none of this would be happening. So on one hand, you can say, well, Palace have breached the rules and maybe they're guilty of a lack of foresight. On the other, I think it does taint somewhat what they achieved at Wembley and winning that FA Cup final. I remember, Adrian, your impassioned speech after the game, what that victory meant, not just for Crystal Palace fans, but fans of small clubs up and down the country. And I feel like this is a kick in the teeth for fans of those smaller clubs.
Cricket, who do you think's to blame? Because we heard Simon Jordan talking about it earlier, and he spoke about Paris, and then you've obviously got, as you said there, Textor. Who do you think is to blame, or is it a little bit of everyone's to blame?
I think John Textor has to take the bulk of the blame, because it was the fact that he was involved in two football clubs that ultimately has cost Crystal Palace dear. I guess you could say maybe Steve Parish should have pushed harder for Textor to put his shares into a blind trust. But again, there is mitigating circumstances. March the 1st, I think the FA Cup was still at the 5th round stage. They obviously weren't going to qualify for Europe via the Premier League. So it would have taken a genius at that stage to predict that Crystal Palace would win the FA Cup, and therefore that this would be an issue.
No, but it's not a genius, is it? Surely if you're Steve Parish or those running Crystal Palace, you back your manager who's won a cup competition before, you back the players because there's some really good players there. Surely, I mean, that isn't hard to do. You realise, oh, this could happen, so let's make sure we know what we're doing. Let's get our ducks in a row so that there's no jeopardy come the end of the season. I mean, I think it's a massive oversight from those running Palace.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. And obviously that was the point that Simon Jordan was making this morning. But I'll go back to the point that there's a lot of clubs and a lot of big clubs in the Premier League who are part of multi-ownership models, and they've not been punished in the same way. Manchester City and Girona both played in last season's Champions League. This is the first time Palace have ever played in Europe, and it's going to have big ramifications, this ruling. And we should just point out the reasons that the Court of Arbitration for Sport decided to not back Palace's appeal. They say the regulations were clear and don't provide flexibility to clubs that are non-compliant. They also deemed that John Textor did have, quotes, a decisive influence over both Lyon and Palace at the time of UEFA's assessment date, and that's why the appeal has been dismissed. But this is a time when Crystal Palace are trying to fight to keep their best players. I know you were really impressed, Adrian, with Mark Gahey at Wembley yesterday in that Community Shield. It's a bigger draw for a player playing in the Europa League against a better standard of opposition than it is in that Conference League, which is still a competition which I think is trying to grow in stature. And if you are Mark Gahey or Eberechi Eze, who we know has interest in the likes of Arsenal and Tottenham, then this could be a decisive factor in whether they stay and continue their journey with Palace or they try and pursue a move elsewhere. And then there's the finances, not just the money that Palace has spent on this ultimately fruitless appeal, but it's estimated they're going to lose around £20 million by dropping out the Europa League into the Conference League. Again, for a club of Palace's size, who aren't one of the big spenders in the Premier League by any stretch of the imagination, that's going to hurt.
One of the byproducts of this could be really interesting for the Premier League season. That is, back in June we heard that Nottingham Forest had gone to UEFA, asked for clarity on the situation, and now we get a situation where Forest have benefited from that. They are now in the Europa League and Palace are in the Europa Conference League. Well, 24th of August, a week on Sunday, it's Crystal Palace against Nottingham Forest, Are we now looking at a real grudge fixture? Is this going to be one of those unlikely rivalries? They're going to hate each other, aren't they? Palace are going to hate Nottingham Forest, and Forest are going to rub the Palace's fans' noses in it, aren't they?
Yeah, and as you know, I was sat in front of those Palace fans who were wearing T-shirts in protest against UEFA and waving banners that read UEFA Mafia at Wembley yesterday. Not only were they singing derogatory songs about UEFA, but rest assured, Evangelos Marinakis, the Forest owner, got a few mentions as well. It does leave somewhat of a bitter taste. I understand you've got to protect your own club's interests, but we all know that Brighton are Crystal Palace's big rivals, and had Palace have been thrown out of Europe completely, then Brighton could have benefited by going into the Conference League. They didn't go down the same road as Evangelos Marinakis and push UEFA to make an example of Palace, and I think Tony Bloom and Paul Barber and the rest of the hierarchy at Brighton deserve great credit for that.
Crookie, you said there about Nottingham Forest, and how do you think the other clubs now, and I get it, you've got to protect your own brand, your own football club, I 100% understand that, but how do you think other clubs will view Nottingham Forest in the way they've conducted themselves in this and what's happened to Palace?
Well, I don't think Palace will be too happy about it, but let's not pretend there aren't divides in the Premier League. I speak to executives who attend the meetings, the quarterly meetings of the 20 Premier League clubs, and it's been described to me in the recent past as like the Wild West, because you've got every club owner, every club chief executive trying to protect their own interests. You've got little cliques forming now. Obviously, you've got the so-called Big Six in the Premier League. You've got all the American ownership that have come in. You've got those clubs who've got Saudi backing as well. So that they're all going to fight for themselves. I don't think actually anybody other than Palace will be too offended by what Forest have done. If indeed they are deemed to have had a decisive role in this, I think UEFA probably would have gone down this road even without Forest intervention.
Crookie, you're our chief football correspondent. We need the latest transfer news. It seems to all involve Manchester City. So I'll reel off some names. You tell me what's happening. Savinho, James McAtee and Jack Grealish. What's the very latest?
Well, we know that conversations have taken place between Tottenham and Manchester City about a possible move for Savinho. Our sources at City are telling us today that they don't particularly want to do that deal. I think they would if they got a decent fee, but it might take a club record bid from Tottenham in the £70 million ballpark in order for that to happen. James McAtee, Forest have stepped up their attempts today on the back of knowing they're going to be a Europa League club next season. I think that's attractive for him. He wants to make the move. Again, I think financially the clubs are a little way apart, but talks are ongoing. And Jack Grealish is on his way to Everton, a medical booked in, I think for as early as today. It's going to be a loan deal until the end of the season, Everton covering the majority, if not all, of Grealish's wages, and he sees this as an opportunity to go and relaunch his career. It all ended rather sadly, didn't it, for Jack Grealish at Manchester City at the end of last season. And just very quickly, I know yesterday live on talkSPORT you interviewed Virgil van Dijk. Must have been rare for him to come up against somebody taller than him, but he did. I think he was a little bit intimidated. He actually revealed Liverpool need to sign a striker. I was shocked listening to it. You were face to face with him. Could you believe it? I had to do a double take because I was halfway through a question talking about the fact they've got loads of options going forward, but maybe that's upset the balance of the team defensively because they did give up a lot of chances at Wembley yesterday, and that's been a theme of pre-season. But he stopped me in my tracks. He said, have we actually got that many options up front? We've lost Luis Diaz. Obviously, Darwin Nunez has gone to Saudi Arabia. We could do with another attacker. If only there was a superstar striker, a Premier League rival, these are my words, not his, who is hankering for a move to Liverpool. Listen, his words are not a cause for concern for the Liverpool hierarchy because they know they need another centre-forward. They know they are a little bit short in terms of numbers at the top end of the pitch. They know they need at least one central defender as well. And I do think Liverpool will do business between now and the end of the window. I still think, as we sit here now, that there's every chance Alexander Isak does become a Liverpool player. It is incredible, though. The Liverpool captain actually saying that out loud. Cracking interview, so fair play. A scoop on the spot at Wembley, live on talkSPORT. I find it amazing. But, yeah, listen, let's wait and see. I'm sure you'll fill us in as and when the news breaks that Isak is a Liverpool player. Crookie, thank you very much. That's talkSPORT's chief football correspondent, Alex Crook, with the very latest, not just on the transfers, but on Palace as well. What are you going to say?
Nope, just thinking about Isak going to Liverpool. I'm going, oh, my goodness.
You think it's definitely going to happen?
Yeah, I think so. Do you know what I always think, Aid? For Isak, how'd you go back? Say it doesn't happen. Yeah. How'd you go back to Newcastle?
He would have to, though, wouldn't he?
Oh, no, he'd have to play.
Yeah.
And there'd be fans waiting for him. And listen, I've lived up there.
Yeah, but
you can't escape it.
As soon as he scores, it won't be a problem. You know how fans work.
I get that, but there'll always be that lingering at the back that, okay, if he's scoring goals, yeah, it's all well and good. But when he's not scoring, which is very rare, then...
Maybe, if he has a barren spell of like half a game or something.
Yeah, they'll be waiting for him at half time.
He'll be right. like the Arsenal fans were with Martinelli.
Yeah. Oh, Arsenal. Why?
Just saying. Just saying.
I'm behind Martinelli 100%.
We're going to look at the Championship a little bit later on. Best of talkSPORT coming next. It's Drive on talkSPORT with Adrian Durham and Darren Bent. I'm in for Andy Goldstein for one day. He's back tomorrow. Still to come, we'll be catching up with Benty. We're going to catch you up on all the sporting stories that you've missed during this 10-week holiday. What are you laughing at? Quickly, Crystal Palace chairman Steve Parish has said that the club could sell captain Mark Gay this summer to avoid losing him on a free at the end of his contract. The Spanish Football Federation has approved the request for December's La Liga fixture between Villarreal and Barcelona to be played in Miami. And the NFL returns to Wembley in October as the Los Angeles Rams take on the Jacksonville Jaguars, and our competition to win VIP tickets is now open. That's right, we're giving you the chance to win 6 seats in a private box at Wembley Stadium, full hospitality and $5,000 spending money. Here's how to enter. 18 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text the word cash to 83338 and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission, or you can enter for free by calling 0330 880 3338. 0330 880 3338. All entries must be received by 25th of August at 11 p.m. It's a TalkSport limited production run on TalkSport, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. For T's and C's at talksport.com. Now it's time for this. It's the best of TalkSport, my friends, where we run you through some of the recent highlight moments from across TalkSport and our other stations as well. Let's kick things off. This morning's breakfast show. I was on the breakfast show. Is this me? No, it's not me. I was on at 8 o'clock this morning. I literally just got up. Here's a little secret, right? I had just got out of bed. The dog woke me up at 3 o'clock this morning. Couldn't get back to sleep till 5. Alarm went off for my hit on the breakfast show. I'm shattered, but I've got to do it. But so if I looked a little bit ropey this morning and sounded a little bit ropey, that'll be why. Anyway, Ali McCoy's made his long-awaited return to TalkSport alongside Ray Parler, who described sharing a room with Big Alan Brazil.
Oh, well, I had to room with Alan Brazil one.
Oh, my God.
In Monaco. And I've never heard noise like it, Ali.
Oh, man.
And it was like, we'd done a deal as well. So let me go sleep first, then let me try and get in a deeper sleep, then you can go sleep. And he's not straight off. And then I had to sleep on the balcony in the end. I've wrapped myself up in a quilt and I slept on the balcony.
He slept on the balcony. That's super. But I can go one better than that. I'll tell you in a second. But do you snore?
No.
Oh, come on.
No, don't snore.
You have to snore.
No. Sleep peacefully. Don't move.
That's not even true.
Yes.
I'm not having that. If people are snoring, do you think it's okay to wake them up?
Yeah, you've got to say, listen.
Really?
I think it's okay, but I don't know how they change it if they're sleeping. It's not like they can go, sorry, I'll switch off now.
Just kick them. And then they don't wake up, but stop snoring.
No.
No, maybe not. Did you have to room with anybody, or was it all you got your own room?
Yeah, at the very, very start, you used to have to room together. But then, as I think I got to about, I don't know, 18, 19 maybe, own room after that.
Right.
Yeah, own room, so yeah, I didn't have to worry about that problem.
Diva Darren.
Because I have to sleep with the TV on.
I had to share a room for one night only on a TalkSport tour. It was the 2010 South Africa World Cup. Okay, so there was a limited number of bedrooms. So there's more people than there were bedrooms, okay? Right. So they said to me, and there was, I can't remember who it was, but it was somebody like a proper talent, you know, proper diva talent that you don't want to upset.
Goldstein, something like that?
Yeah, well, no, proper diva talent.
Yeah.
So management came to me because they know I'm a good teammate, okay? They came to me and said, Adrian, will you give up your room? And I said, yeah, okay, no problem. Who am I sharing with? Ian Abrahams. Oh, my days.
Oh, my goodness.
Honestly, the worst night of my life.
Yeah?
I would have slept outside, but I'm scared of snakes. So I had to sleep in the same room.
They couldn't give you like a pool of like 5 people and you just get to pick?
He was the only one who was prepared to share. I mean, that's how many divas were on that trip.
Oh, my
Unbelievable. Goodness. It was like a trip full of Simon Jordans. It was incredible. Don't forget, Ali will be back on the... What he did was he had his iPad on, EastEnders on, but he left it on and fell asleep snoring, by the way. And EastEnders and whatever followed next was all on
Oh, no, see, I have to sleep with that on, so that wouldn't have bothered me. I have to sleep with the TV on.
I didn't sleep a wink. Anyway, Ali's back on breakfast tomorrow morning. He'll be joined by Aston Villa's former Premier League top scorer, Gabby Agbonlahor, no longer holds the record.
Of course, the return of football season means the Moose is once again travelling up and down the country reporting for TalkSport. Here he is alongside Adrian watching Chelsea.
Yeah, Nicholas Jackson, he's supposed to be warming up, but he's actually got his woolly hat on. He's actually just watching the game.
He's standing there, isn't he?
He's just standing there watching. He's not warming up at all.
If that's all you get paid for, to be a footballer, warming up, I could be a professional footballer.
I'm not even sure that you could, to be honest.
I could stand up for 5 minutes.
Well,
I need to sit down afterwards.
5 minutes for you would be a push, I'm sure. There'd be some heavy breathing going on.
Speak for myself as well.
What's your favourite Moose moment over the years?
That's a great question. I think, actually, speaking seriously, right, he's a really good football reporter, Moose. And you remember when Bradford won at Chelsea in the FA Cup 4-2? Bradford were League 2 there. I think it's the greatest FA Cup shock of all time. He was on fire that day. He was with Ray Parlour.
Yeah.
He was absolutely brilliant and he nailed it. But at the weekend, he was at Gillingham's game and they won. And the goal was scored by Bradley Dack. And the Moose claimed on air that he is as good looking as Bradley Dack. Bradley Dack is fit, okay?
Yeah.
So, Moose, no chance. None whatsoever, I'm afraid.
What's the worst thing about working with the Moose?
Oh, mate, it's the smell.
Jeez.
I'll leave it there.
Yeah, all right. And if the Moose wasn't a reporter, what's the job you could see him doing?
Cleaning toilets. I mean, I'm being kind. I can't say, honestly, nothing. This is it. I don't think there's any other industry that would take Ian Abrams.
No?
I've known this guy for about 35 years. It's been very painful along the way. But yeah.
The Moose will be back tomorrow night at Charlton as they take on Stevenage, as Adrian takes you around the grounds for the return of the Carabao Cup.
I do. More on that in a moment. And let's finish with a classic clip from our brand new sister station, talkSPORT Gold. Here's my old Drive co-host Darren Goff discussing one of his pets.
I've got an hamster, a female hamster, and it's called Stuart.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Because Stuart Little is really one of my favourite films.
Yeah, but Stuart's a bloke's name.
Don't matter in this day and age, does it? It's a female, and I call her Stuart. She loves it. Absolutely loves it. Comes to us. Absolutely perfect.
Brilliant. God, golden times. What shall I ask you about that? Who's your favourite ever Stuart?
I mean, do you know what? This is random. The only one that comes to mind is Stuart Ripley.
Oh, the winger.
That's the only Stuart I can think of.
Middlesbrough and Blackburn winger.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good. Flying away.
Yeah.
Stuart Broad.
Yeah, okay, yeah, but Ripley.
How about Stuart Pearce?
Yeah, oh, yeah,
yeah, you failed badly there.
No, I'm going Stuart Ripley. I'm sticking with that now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell Pearce.
I'm going Graham Stewart. Does that count?
No.
Was Stewart in there?
Yeah, but what about Stuart Pearce?
No, I'm going Graham Stewart.
There's only one Stuart.
Yeah, Ripley.
Stuart Pearce. For all the best parts of TalkSport, make sure you check out the TalkSport Daily podcast. And, of course, make sure you have the TalkSport app where you can swipe between TalkSport, TalkSport 2 and all of our other sister stations so you never miss a moment.
Tyson Fury, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez. Just hearing these names makes you think money and the hundreds of millions of dollars, pounds or Saudi riyals in boxing. But that's at the top. At the bottom, it isn't quite the same. Even for those on the rise, there's not an awful lot of cash in the boxing world. And if you're just starting out, well, it can be a very costly exercise indeed. But don't take my word for it. Here's the former European champion talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver.
You're turning professional and you're boxing, let's say, York Hall on a non-televised fight. You have to sell tickets to earn any money, but you have to cover the wages of your opponent as well. So if you don't have the ability to be able to sell enough tickets, you effectively have to pay to fight.
A far cry then from Jake Paul facing Mike Tyson in 2024, when the purse was reported to be around £48 million. But the vast amounts of cash lining the top dog's pockets isn't the norm in a typical fight.
Let's say you're lucky and you get between 5 and 10 grand. You're going to get 10 grand max for that. 10% goes to the trainer, 25% goes to the manager. Then we've got the tax man to pay as well. So we're cutting that money in at least half. So now you've got 5 grand for a 10-week camp. So you're talking about a guy here earning, he might be clearing 500 quid a week. How do you support a family on that? So boxers chase the dream. And, you know, there's probably 2% of them that actually make it.
So say you do make it and you start to rise up the ranks. Strikers Boxing, a training academy, says the mid-tier fighters can earn more, somewhere between £10,000 and £50,000 a fight, depending on record, profile, opponent and popularity of weight class. It's only at the top level does the real cash start flowing in, with the top-tier professionals, i.e. those going for titles, earning 6 figures a fight. Something else you'll have heard of is the terms prize fighter or journeyman. A prize fighter is, as it sounds, someone who picks up fights where they can and gets a nice big check if they win. Journeymen are the fighters who take on up-and-comers, effectively used for experience in the ring. Even if they're going up against the real prospects, a young Anthony Joshua, for example, these guys will be lucky to earn more than 10 grand. So the average boxer isn't as rich as you'd think.
You're listening to Drive on talkSPORT with me, Adrian Durham, and Darren Bent. He's back from holidays, and we'll be catching Benty up with the sporting stories that he missed while he was off for 10 weeks. That's coming up on the show. But now the Championship was back with a bang over the weekend, and the talkSPORT network had you covered.
This is what the Championship can give you. Drama at the very end.
Tucked away by Isaac Price. West Bromwich Albion have hit the front.
Almost an hour gone. It's Gillingham 1, Walsall 0. Bradley Dack with a goal.
Deadlock broken. Middlesbrough 1, Swansea City 0. Dale Fry. Diving header from him.
Jamie Mullins, a lifeline for Wickham. Wickham 1, Stockport 2.
7 minutes to go. It's Norwich 1, Millwall 2. Macaulay Langstaff has only been on the field a couple of minutes.
No sooner had Schmidt denied Brannigan at one end than Pompey take the lead at the other. Oxford 0, Portsmouth 1. Winner here at Stoke, Mickey Gray.
94 minutes on the clock. Stoke City 2, Derby County 1. Divine Mupama.
Stoke are running right at Mickey Gray.
Yeah, Stoke City 3, Derby County 1, and it's Sober Thomas.
When we say we're back, we're so back.
Oh, you're not wrong. Loved it. Round the ground Saturday in the Championship, the League One, League Two, and the rest as well. The Championship returning across the talkSPORT network this weekend. We had 6 live exclusive commentaries. There were late winners, controversy wherever you look. So we thought we'd take a deep dive into some key games and discuss what we've already learned about each side. So I'm going to go through these, okay? Just make a mental note here, Darren, and you talk about what you want off the back. So I'm just going to go through these here. So, do Sheffield Wednesday stand any chance of surviving? They took the lead but lost 2-1 at Leicester. It was live on talkSPORT 2 yesterday afternoon. Obviously, big fan protest there as well. But do they stand any chance, given what's happened, do they stand any chance of surviving? What do you think of Nathan Jones? Just going to leave that one hanging there. You all know what I'm talking about. Charlton beat Watford 1-0. What are you laughing at?
Nothing.
Charlton beat Watford 1-0. Harvey Nibbs, new signing, 94th minute winner. So what do you think of Nathan Jones? Because there was a lot of celebrations. I thought he'd scored the winner, to be honest.
Love it. Love it.
Oh, of course you do. Yeah. Oh, who did you play for?
Go on, Alex. Love it.
Let's hear from Mr. Jones himself. Speaking to the club's YouTube channel following his side's late win over Watford, he discussed that late goal from the debutant Harvey Nibbs.
Well, look, it's fairy tale stuff, but we preach to these. We met these early. We preach to them. We say this is what the Charlton is. This is what you have to do to play for Charlton. If you come and play for Charlton and do the things, this is what could happen to you. This is why we want you, and we wanted him because that's what he does. Things fall to him. The technique to then, in our calm head in the 93rd, 94th minute was truly wonderful. And look, what a way to win a game. And you know, as you said, credit to Watford. Watford are a good side, and they'll be up there, I'm sure. But for us to come back into the Championship and to do what we did today, I'm so proud of the football club, because what a club.
Okay, mate. Calm head.
Right, mate.
Harvey Nibbs just smashed it. I mean, I don't think it was calm head. He just smashed it and it went in. And if he'd missed it, it would have been embarrassing. But I mean, what kind of fairy tale was it? I mean, it's Charlton Watford. Okay, beating Watford 1-0 is no fairy tale. It's just another game in the season, isn't it? Anyway, as Mark Robbins found his feet at Stoke, I thought they were brilliant. I was at Stoke for the 3-1 against Derby. I thought they were absolutely fantastic. Could Scott Twine finally fire Bristol City into the Premier League? How good was his free kick? Should we compare the free kicks?
Yeah, go on.
Because there was Scott Twine's free kick and Ryan Manning's free kick. So which one was best?
I think Ryan Manning's was better.
It was unsavable, wasn't it?
Oh, do you know, there's an angle, because when it first went in, I said, oh, keeper, how are you getting beat from that far? But when they show the camera angle from behind the goal, the keeper's nowhere near it at any stage.
Yeah.
It starts down the middle and just bends and bends. What a free kick. What a goal.
Sensational, and at that time as well.
Yeah.
That's a fairy tale. How worried should Norwich be about losing Josh Sargent? I asked Dean Ashton this at the end, after the game. They lost 2-1. Josh Sargent scored a really freaky goal. He blocked a keeper's clearance and went in, but his goal record is fantastic for Norwich. He's got a World Cup, he's a USA international, got a World Cup on home soil coming up next summer, and he'll want to be in a side that's challenging, but Norwich really didn't look the part, so they could lose him. And does Phil Parkinson have a right to complain about the quality coming off the Southampton bench? So just take a listen to this. This is Phil Parkinson reflecting on that very late defeat for Wrexham at Southampton.
Obviously hugely disappointed not to get something from the game. A lot to build on for us though. I thought it was a really strong performance, you know, with a lot of new players and a lot of players playing at the level for the first time. Listen, you know, Southampton have put subs on worth probably about 30-40 million today, and that is obviously the difference.
Okay, mate, do you remember, Phil, when you were in the National League and you were putting Paul Mullin on, who was on way more than the rest of the whole National League put together? Well, now you know what it feels like. How can he moan? He's got some front, ain't he?
Yeah.
Moaning about that.
Yeah, I hate when I hear things like that. Like, it almost makes me be quite happy that Southampton beat them.
Yeah.
You're almost looking at it thinking, well, I want your bubble to burst now, because you're right. They've been doing it for the last couple of seasons. You look at the wage structure they've got at the club. Some of the players they've managed to prize away from divisions above them to come to Wrexham. And I get it. I think what Ryan Reynolds has done, and Rob, with a long last name, McAnany, what they've done, I've really enjoyed watching it. But it is interviews like that where you go, really, come on. It's a little bit sour grapes, a little bit.
Well, the thing is, what he doesn't realise is everybody can see through it.
Of course they can.
Everybody's thinking what you've just said, and he looks like a bit of a mug, to be honest. He can't come out and complain about that, bearing in mind what they've done. You're right. So Wrexham were winning, but they were winning on 90 and lost 2-1. Fine start for Rob Edwards, Ryan Mason and Will Still. All English, all in charge of Championship clubs for the first time, all with wins. Rob Edwards at Borough, Ryan Mason at West Brom, Will Still at Southampton. So is the Championship a breeding ground now for British managers? Actually, I say that. Will Still was born in Belgium, wasn't he? But you know what I mean. A frustrating start for Lampard at Coventry. They were the better side but didn't score. 0-0 against Hull. He's always under pressure. What do you make of footballers getting personal trainers? This is really interesting, okay? So the Preston manager, Paul Heckingbottom, they drew 1-1 at QPR, okay? Decent result for them away from home. Really good equaliser from Osmajic. But Paul Heckingbottom spoke to the media over the weekend. He had his say on the injury suffered by his player, the striker Daniel Jefferson.
Jebo's, I'm angry about that one. A growing trend of football is when they work with people outside, they have their own people who they work with, and he's been working with a fella called Tom King. I mean, frustrated, listen, it's an accident, I get it, but it's not happening anymore with any Preston players. We had it with Freddie last season doing the same, and these guys, they work with these players and they post their work all over social media and want to promote the business, and they're happy to take the money. Don't give us any money back when they injure the players in their sessions, so yeah, they'll not be posting on social media that Jebo's out for a month, so I'll tell everyone that when they work with players they can put them out as well. So really angry about that.
Wow. What do you make of that?
Listen, I get it from a manager's perspective, because you can't control what's going on. You're hoping these players look after themselves, and ultimately you're trying to get your team promoted. You're trying to do as well as you can. And if you're losing players that are down to outside influences, I can understand it. But when you look at the top level of football now, they've all got it. And pre-season's not a case. Pre-season used to be the case of you'd go away, you'd enjoy your holidays, you'd come back overweight, and pre-season was designed to lose the weight before the season starts. That's not the case anymore. Like, because of, I mean, managers' shelf lives nowadays are so short that managers nowadays haven't got time to spend the first 2-3 weeks of pre-season just running. They have to get the ball out straight away tactically, because the game's developing, it's evolving all the time.
So they've got to get back fit.
They've got to come back at a certain level so you can just crack on with the tactical side of things, get the ball out and start going straight away. So all top level players are doing it. So it's not so much about it being promoted on social media. These players are trying to put themselves in the best possible physical condition to come back, so when they attack pre-season, they're ready to go. So I understand both sides of it, but if I was still playing now, I'd have a personal trainer, because you can't now let the standards slip at all.
What I find weird about that, and a lot of time for Paul Heckingbottom, but he's basically having a pop at personal trainers when players are trying to do the right thing.
100%.
So how are the players feeling about what he said there? They must be like looking at it thinking, hang on a minute, we're trying our hardest for you here.
Exactly. And when you look at the top level, and this is no disrespect, but the top level players in the Premier League are really, they're high commodities. They're worth millions to that football club. Some players, like I'll give Madueke for instance, because he's been one I've watched on social media for a number of years now. He's just gone to Arsenal for over £60 million now. He's always working with his personal trainer. Now, I don't see him on social media doing the gym stuff. I haven't seen that. But what I do see him is on the grass, putting the sprints in, working on his finishing. Now, he could be having, for what I know, 50, 100, 200 shots in this session, pull a muscle, but he's trying to make himself better. He's trying to do the right thing. So I don't think you can really come down on a player that are out. Because what would you rather see your player doing? Doing that, or going out drinking and getting injured on a fight in a nightclub, or get injuring himself on a night out? So I think at times you've got to be a little bit cuter in certainly the way you talk about certain players.
Or what if a player comes back from for pre-season looking like me? I mean, there's a big problem there.
Finely tuned athlete.
Yeah, all right, mate. In the mind. Yeah. It's all under the surface. What about Birmingham Ipswich? I was there Friday night, 1-1 it finished. Does that show the Championship needs VAR? Who wrote that? Actually, this is interesting. Chris Davies, the Birmingham manager, spoke to talkSPORT after the draw. He wasn't convinced with the decision to award Ipswich that late penalty.
I thought the penalty was really harsh, to say the least, because his arm has gone up, but his arm's on the way down, and it's sort of touched his fingers, really. I mean, it's minute touch onto the ball, but yeah, these things happen. What can you do? I don't think it was a penalty, but you know, that's the way it goes sometimes.
So it's touched his fingers, so that's handball then.
When he said touch his fingers, well, that's part of the hand, right?
What is he talking about? The other thing with that, and it's a bit like the Wrexham one you were talking about, I'm a fan of a League One club. Okay, so we all know down in that division last season, Birmingham City got every decision going. I mean, you went to St Andrews. They didn't lose at St Andrews, and they were very good. They were way better than anybody else.
Of course.
But honestly, the decisions they got at that place were absurd. And it's because the fans were so loud. It's because they're such a big club. There was a lot of pressure on officials. I understand it. But how can he go into a higher division and suddenly moan about refs?
Yeah.
I mean, he was on the touchline for the EFL Trophy final, obviously. We beat Birmingham 2-0, shock result.
Yeah.
Okay, but all the Birmingham fans said we were the better side. He got a yellow card for moaning at the referee and the officials so much. Mate, you've been given every leg up. You've been given every advantage with your budget and support and resources.
The budget, Paul.
Stop moaning at officials, mate, honestly. He's moaned there. He said, well, it's hit his hand, but it's not a penalty. It is a penalty. His arms are above his head.
Yeah, natural position. I get it. And I mean, he's moaning about the officials. We spoke about Parky moaning about the amount of money that coming off Southampton's bench. I just think you're right. It's game one. Yeah, decisions sometimes like that go against you, but that's almost part of the EFL, and that's why I'm with you, Aid. I mean, I must have watched about 6 games this weekend because without VAR, it just feels more like I'm watching a proper game of football. Like sometimes you get them decisions.
So you don't want VAR in the Championship?
No, I do not.
No, me neither.
I think that's what makes the Championship and EFL beautiful. That it hasn't got VAR because you're seeing players score great goals, world class goals. They're looking across to the linesman. The linesman's on his way back to the halfway line. They run off celebrating. Fans are going crazy. We love it. I hate this. You're seeing players score in the Premier League, great goals, and then we have to wait 2-3 minutes for them to go all the way back to make sure there's no infringements and then give the goal. It just takes that little bit of joy out of it.
And the other thing is that, so the Kyogo goal, you know, the one that was disallowed early in the Ipswich game, right? I think we all thought it's not really a foul. It's so soft, okay? But I don't think that VAR would have overturned that. I think they would have gone with the referee's on-field decision, which I thought was a poor decision. The other one was the Ronnie Edwards push on Kiefer Moore for the Wrexham penalty.
Yeah.
Okay, and should he have been sent off? I don't actually think VAR would have sent him off because Jack Stevens was
covering.
I'm not sure he was covering, and I think Kiefer Moore would have got a shot away, but I think the VAR would have given the referee the benefit of the doubt. I mean, Ronnie Edwards didn't even get a booking for that.
No.
Which is literally unbelievable.
Yeah, mind-boggling.
I do wonder what the referees see. But listen, I think you're right. Don't need VAR in the EFL. Don't need it in the Championship. Let's get your thoughts on some of those stories. 03717 22 3344. listening to Drive on talkSPORT. I'm Adrian Durham in for Andy Goldstein for one drive only. And Darren Bent is back from his long holiday. Still to come, we'll be running through some of the stories Benty missed while he was away, but just quickly, the Spanish Football Federation has approved the request for December's La Liga game between Villarreal and Barcelona to be played in Miami, and Chelsea striker Nicholas Jackson favours a move to Newcastle this summer. We're looking back on an incredible opening weekend in the Championship. By the way, on PTs, Paul Heckingbottom saying that his players got injured by the player's own personal PT. I've just had a message from a physio. It says, you're talking a load of rubbish. It's a bit more than what you're saying. These people aren't insured, the PTs, he's saying. So if they ruin a £20 million player, there's no comeback.
Yeah, I get.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, listen, I understand. I fully understand all of that about the commodity and how much they're insured for, and they run that risk of injury. But at the same time, they are trying to do the right thing. But they are trying to do the right thing. There are players out there that find it hard to just go in the gym when they're on their holidays on their own and just run and work hard. They need that motivation, someone to push them, to put the sessions on for them. So I've got no problem with that, but I do understand from a physio's perspective, because they've got to come back in for, first of all, fit, because you need your players. But I just think you look at a lot of the top players now, they've all got these personal trainers trying to do the right thing. So I've not got no issue with it, but then I don't own a football club.
Let's get through some of your calls in the Championship. Joe's a Millwall fan. How you doing, Joe?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Adrian. How are you? You all right, Darren?
I'm good, mate. You?
All good.
Yeah, not bad. Looking forward to the season with Millwall. I think we're the dark horses, Adrian. We was fantastic Saturday. Haven't beat Norwich since 1968 at Carrow Road. So there you go.
You know what? I actually said before the games kicked off that Millwall were my dark horses because Alex Neil's a shrewd manager. I think your recruitment was good. You ended the season well. Only 2 points off the playoffs, I think, at the end of last season. By the way, Joe, Alfie Doughty, what a signing that is. But his pass to Macaulay Langstaff for the winning goal was sensational, wasn't it?
Sensational. Yeah, it was unbelievable. But what I rang up about, to be honest, Adrian, is that monkey decision by the referee. And I know you both disagree with me, but that weren't handball. I totally disagree. They've got to change the name, the phrase of handball. Because if it is handball or ball to hand, tell me.
Well, you're talking about Friday night at Birmingham, yeah?
I'm talking about Friday night. I'll tell you what, I'm not a Birmingham supporter by no stretch, because you know our history between Millwall and Birmingham. It goes back since the playoffs, and I was there that night when it all kicked off. But what I'm trying to say is, I thought the referee handled that game shocking, and it could have incited a riot. And
what I will say is that I think, Joe, and thanks for the call. I think. I understand what you're saying, okay? And I thought the referee was pretty poor, certainly first half on Friday night. It was like, you knew he was rusty. It was his first game back. But I don't see what else he could have done, because Lyndon Dykes' arms are pointing to the sky and the ball is nodded back and it hits his hands.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a penalty. It's handball. It's a penalty. I'm not sure what else the referee could do in that situation.
The only phrase I hate is that natural and unnatural, because I think a lot of the people officiating, when they talk about natural, arms down by your side of your body is a natural position. But yeah, I think you have to take into context when you're jumping for a ball where your arm's going to be. Now, yeah, I'm agree with you. I think it's a penalty. But when they say his arm's in an unnatural position, well, sometimes that's the most natural position for doing that action. So if I jump or I take a shot or I'm going to throw my body to make myself to try and block it with my body, my legs, my arm's going to be in an unnatural position. But for that action, that's the natural position. So that's where the phrasing from the officiating, you have to go, come on.
Yeah, I'd see why it was, but I think it was a penalty.
I agree with you.
Ryan's a Southampton fan. What do you want to say, Ryan? You're on talkSPORT.
Oh, good afternoon, chaps. What an amazing weekend I had. It was great.
Well, it wasn't for 90 minutes of the game, was it?
No, well, do you know what? We were in control, though. I wasn't unhappy watching it, like getting frustrated. I thought, we will have a break for it at some point. And towards the end, obviously, it did start to get a bit hairy, but it was a soft penalty. And I thought, well, I'm actually happy with our performance compared to last season. Let's face it, anything that's going to be an up on it, a plus, it's like, at least I'm smiling. But I just phoned up basically about. Darren has known I've been speaking now for nearly 2 seasons on the fact that I do not want Southampton to go stay up. I hate the Premier League with what VAR has done to it. For me, the spontaneity of celebration was all that really football rests on. And now that's completely lost. I feel well, it's not lost, but it's it's extremely, it's not exactly something you can rely on in the sport now. A goal was something you could rely on. The whistle goes, flags down, we celebrate, crowds jump in. And to be back in the Championship and have that happen so quick, and you just know there's nothing stopping that. That's the feeling, and that's what I feel that the Premier League, I feel that it's a generational thing. I feel in 10 years' time there's going to be a drop-off in fanfare for the very reason that there's just not, the world aren't going to get the same feeling that we all got for the last 100 years out of football. And I feel that's a sad thing.
Ryan, what a great call that is. And I think you're right about the generational thing. It's to come. It's to come. People will realise. I don't think that those who brought in VAR, those who still love VAR, want it to work, all those at PGMO or PGMOL or whatever they want to call it these days, I don't think they realise the damage they've done to the game, and they'll only realise it and they'll still deny it when everything Ryan has just said there comes true.
Do you know what? He's been banging on about that. He comes on all the time. And me and Andy are like, but surely you want to watch a team in the top division. He's like, no, I'm sick and tired of VAR. I'm sick and tired of watching Southampton get beat every week. And he's always said he would like to see Southampton, even if they win the Championship, just don't go up.
Benty,
Have the option.
You know, it's right. You want your team to win every game, but you don't want them to. I've got no specific Premier League dream.
Yeah.
I want my team to win every game, which ain't going to happen, by the way. But, you know.
Trust me.
One game, please. Listen, we'll be running through some of the stories Benty's missed while he's been away very shortly. But first, it's time for No Googling. Let's see if you can finally get one right without any clues.
I've got the Camp Nou one. Right.
Without any clues.
Oh, no worries.
He's rusty. Each of the last 3 community shields have been won on penalties. So we want to know who's the last side to win it in normal time and who scored for them that day. Get that brain working, Darren Bent.
What football ground are you thinking of when someone says this?
Really tough place to go.
Difficult place to go.
Such a tough place to go.
It's a tough place to go at the moment.
It was a really difficult place to go.
But what are the toughest places to go, really? We've had a look. Forget a cold, wet Tuesday night in Stoke. Try a blizzard 220 miles inside the Arctic Circle. When Chelsea lost at Tromsø in Norway in the Cup Winners' Cup, a massive snowstorm hit at half-time. These two boys and their brooms were absolutely no match for it. We're staying in Scandinavia for Scotland's toughest away day on the side of a cliff in the Faroe Islands in Euro 2000 qualifying. The pitch at Toftir was like a cow field, never mind those gale force winds. The Faroe Islands part-timers equalised in stoppage time. Cue Scandi scenes. But away trips don't come tougher than playing Bolivia at altitude in La Paz. Or so we thought. The Bolivians have now taken home advantage to another level, literally 500 metres further up the Andes to the country's highest city, El Alto, 4,100 metres above sea level. Meanwhile, the loudest stadium in world football officially is the Ali Sami Yen, where Galatasaray fans set a world record of 131 decibels. That's louder than Motorhead. But our most intimidating away day is in Wales. Prison team HMP Prescoed was briefly kicked out the Gwent League over concerns about young opposition having to go in there. Now that's a tough place to go.
It's Drive on talkSPORT with Adrian Durham. Andy Goldstein is back tomorrow. Darren Bent is with me. A few moments ago, we asked you the final no Googling of the day, with each of the last three Community Shields being won on pens. Wanted to know who was the last side to win it in normal time, who scored for them that day. Benty's first answer, Leicester.
That's close, though.
Wrong. No, it wasn't close.
It was the year before.
Yeah, that's 12 months away. That's a long way away. So, you finally got it right. Actually, your second guess was not the right answer either. I can't remember what guess it was, but you got Liverpool, and they beat Man City 3-1, and the scorers were
Trent.
Yep.
Salah.
Yep.
Darwin
Nunez actually scored a goal. I think they missed him yesterday. Following us from 7, Max Scott brings you the Transfer Insiders. This evening he has Rory Jennings alongside him, but now it's time for this.
Ow, ow, ow. Ow. Guess who's back again?
Kelly against Katakoi. Hook, skip, jump. Oh my goodness! What a penalty kick! Football is coming home again.
Down to Isaac. He's a second goal. It's another goal for Newcastle United.
It's an absolute thumping. Earl the Pearl Strickland has beaten Andy Goldstein by 9 racks to 1.
Brilliant. This is Benty's back, okay? Because guess what? Benty's back. So it's a feature where we explore some of the big stories that Darren Bent has missed during his 15-week summer holiday.
What's going up?
Yeah, it is, yeah. Just couldn't keep count. Let's start with the big one. The Lionesses went back-to-back European Championship wins. Penalty shootout victory over Spain in the final. Now, Hannah Hampton, England's number 1, joined Sam Matterface, Alex Crook and Troy Deeney in the studio last week. It was a brilliant interview. She revealed the dark arts that she employed during that shootout.
The Spanish keeper had it on their bottle.
Yeah.
So I thought, when she's going in goal, just pick it up, chuck it into the English fans so she can't have it. You know?
Did you do that?
Yes. Well, she can't have it then.
There you go.
So then I don't ever put it on a bottle because anyone could do that. So I put it on my arm. And I think that the TV caught that.
Yeah, makes sense.
If you put
why
it
are
on a
you
bottle,
so
then
baffled?
yeah,
This is just great. I love it. This is the art of war.
exactly.
So you picked up her bottle that she was going to use in the shootout.
Yeah, it
and
wasn't
threw it
hard.
in.
When she's gone in the goal, it's on its own, isn't it? It's in the towel. You just pick it up.
See,
When did she realise? Did you see the
When
moment
she
she
saw my
realised?
bottle in there instead. Mine's blank, but it's the same. Like obviously the
Yeah,
same
same
sponsors and stuff.
sponsor, yeah.
So I just put mine in there, chucked her one into the fans, and she had an
Wow.
empty bottle. So
Brilliant.
she was looking where it is.
Brilliant. Truly top class. I love that. You know, England kept winning fair play awards, but not winning tournaments. Now the Lionesses have got it right, haven't they?
Do you know what? I need to see video of this. I would love to see it. I need to see video. I'm not sceptical, but,
No,
I need to see it.
You know, the update on the story is that the Spanish keeper has gone on social media and said this story isn't true. And then, since then, I think a fan has put a picture of the bottle saying, well, it is true. I caught the bottle.
Yeah.
So the story's going to run and run.
Well, you know what you'd think certainly with the Lionesses and modern day technology, there's a million cameras at every game. Someone, even you know what it's like, even as a penalty shootout and you look behind the goal, every fan nowadays is watching the penalties through their phone. They're not watching it like we used to watch it.
Yeah.
So someone has that footage of her throwing the bottle in the crowd. But if she did do that, fair play. But wow, the Lionesses again.
Not fair play, but
it is really.
no, I absolutely love it, and she's got something about her, Hannah Hampton, and she was brilliant throughout the whole tournament.
Yeah.
Easily the best keeper in the tournament. I'm being biased there, but yeah, she was superb, and it was great. I know you did Lionesses phone-ins early on in the tournament, and it was looking ropey at times for them. They weren't convincing. Let's put it that way.
Well, do you know what, the first game against France, I was like, oh no. They didn't look great, and they probably would admit they didn't play well, but they built on that, beat the Netherlands, of course, beat Wales, and they just started to click. And you know, even in the final, even though Spain was so dominant in the first half, because I watched it when I was abroad, I still had this, just because of what England had done the previous two games with Ajman coming on and having that impact. I was like, they're not out of this. I don't care how bad they are. They've got this, and Serena Wiegman deserves a lot of credit. They've got this attitude where even if they are like second in the competition against the best team on the planet, they find something from somewhere, or someone does. And the moment it went 1-0, I said, you know what? There's only one winner here. I know it was penalties, and again, the moment it got to Chloe Kelly, I said, well, this is over. I said, this is over.
Absolutely done. By the way, did you just mix up Michelle Ajman
and Aubameyang? Yeah. Ajman, yeah.
I'm not kidding you. I kept doing that throughout the whole tour. I had to train myself.
If you can do it, then that's fine.
I didn't do it on air.
No.
I had to train my brain to get that. I don't know what was going on. In anyway, let's move on to the big transfer saga of the summer, which is, of course, Alexander Isak's potential move to Liverpool. We know that Liverpool have had one bid rejected. Isak had spent time training with his old club in Spain. Super Ali McCoy was back on the Breakfast Show this morning. He said that Isak hasn't behaved in the right way.
There's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it, and I think he's doing it the wrong way.
Of course.
See, when you sign a contract, as soon as you put pen to paper, the first thing you should be thinking about is, I'm going to honour that contract because I'm happy with it. I've signed a 3-year contract, I've signed a 1-year contract, I've signed a 4-year contract. If you're happy with it, you should be thinking, right, I'm going to honour this.
Don't worry about other players.
Correct.
Yeah.
I should be signing it for 2 years, I should be signing it for 3 years, 4, whatever it is. You can't sign a 4 or 5 year contract and after a year say, I don't fancy this.
Interesting. It's going to happen, isn't it?
I think so. And I appreciate what Ali's saying, then I agree with him to an extent that you're right, there is a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it. And by training with your old side and then almost saying, no, I'm not going to play, I understand that's the wrong way. But from his perspective, Alexander Isak, where I'm a little bit, I can understand it. It doesn't make it right, but I understand it, is that he has been, it's an argument, flip of a coin, who's the best striker in the Premier League? Him or Haaland, right? It's that easy. And his numbers suggest that he's right in the mix, right? And players talk, players understand, agents talk. He will understand what other strikers in the division will be getting. And if he feels he's being undervalued, he's going to make that known to his agent, who's going to go to Newcastle and say, well, I'm worth this. Now, if he's not going to get that, yes, he signed the contract, but Ali can't tell me he was always happy with the contract that he had, even when he's winning European golden shoes. It's just part and parcel of football. Now, yes, there is a right way to do it. But where I can understand for me is that where he's so adamant he wants to leave now, it's because he's got Liverpool after him. Now, Liverpool and Newcastle is night and day. Like Newcastle, big side, they're not Liverpool. They've not just won the Premier League. They haven't won the trophies that Liverpool have won. He's probably thinking to himself, he's 25 years old. If I don't get this move now, it may never come again. He might struggle next season. I don't think he will because he's class. But he's probably thinking to himself, this move may never happen again. If they're coming for me now, I want to strike while the iron's hot. So I have a little bit of sympathy for him. But he has probably gone about it the wrong way.
Yeah, I'd say. But just on Ali McCoist, who's back tomorrow on Breakfast, 6 a.m. Just want to say congratulations to Celtic, who won the title at the weekend.
I've seen that. They're paying out, some bookmakers are paying out already, aren't they?
After 2 games, they're 4 points ahead of Rangers. Incredible. Let's go. This is something else you missed, actually, while you're on your massive holiday. Rory Jennings has, of course, been causing a bit of a stir on social media over the summer. Let's hear one of his most controversial moments on talkSPORT over the last few weeks.
To be honest with you, I don't understand why anyone over the age of about 12 is wearing a football kit at any point in their life anyway. This isn't about what name you have on the back. This is about the choice of top that you're choosing to wear as you leave your house.
That is outrageous. If you support your football team, if you're passionate about your football team, you can't blame a fully grown adult for wanting to wear that shirt with pride.
Yeah, I massively do. I think it's a weird way to feel that that's how you have to show your support for
it. You don't have to.
No, it's a weird way that you feel that's how you have to do it.
Okay, I must admit, I have got a lot of replica Peterborough United shirts, and I don't mind wearing them as well, even to games. I have no problem with it whatsoever. I heard that live. After the show, I sent a picture, I'll show you there, picture of me in our third kit, our third shirt last season. I sent it to Rory. Yeah. It's a beauty, and it's a lovely kit.
Nice, yeah.
A really beautiful.
What was his response?
Now that I love.
Oh, and do you know what that is? Because you've sent him the text message. Beat himself. I promise you now, Aid, that's what it is. If someone else, and this is no disrespect to people at this station, we love everyone, but there are people that are a little bit lower down than you. You are like up the top. He is absolutely.
I've got no idea what you're talking about.
I promise you, if that text had come from someone else, he would have gone, why are you wearing that? Because it come from you.
Right.
And when I see him, is he enough? When I see him, I'm going to say, because that is poor for him. But do you know what? My feelings on that are, if you're going to support your team, I don't mind you wearing the shirt, right? I think that's fair enough, you supporting it. Yeah. But when I see grown men shopping in, I don't know, Tesco's with a football shirt on, that I find a bit strange.
Okay.
But I think it's even more strange if I see a number and a name on the back of the shirt.
I've never had the number and name.
But then I take it one step further. If they've got a number and their own name on the shirt, I find that odd. And if they're going to football, I've still got a little bit of with it, but that's the weird part, I think.
Yeah, I think you've got to wear the shirt well. So, I rarely wear any white shirts that we have. The black one was perfect for me last season.
Yeah.
It was superb.
I like a nice retro.
Rory's in on the next show.
Oh, see? Yeah, I'm putting him on that.
You can have it out with him.
Honestly. I can't believe that. Rory.
I know.
Little text from Adrian, he's gone on.
Has he bottled it?
Yeah.
He's absolutely... Rory, reverse. Yeah. Right, let's touch on Benty's side. Arsenal have, of course, been in pre-season action as they prepare for another title challenge. Now, one of the standout performers has been 15-year-old Max Dowman. Mikel Arteta, of course, made Ethan Nwaneri the youngest Premier League player of all time, the same age that was 3 years ago, 2022. Wow. So Ray Parlour, an Arsenal invincible, spent time with the squad during their pre-season tour. He was full of praise for Max Dowman.
Who knows where he can go? It's a long way to go, but who knows where he can be taken. He could become one of the best players ever. That's how good he is. But he does just happen with a magic wand. You've got to work hard and really, really concentrate every single day in training and this, that, whatever, to get to where he wants to get to.
He is not 16 until New Year's Eve.
Ooh.
Okay, so he's 15 years old. The way Ray is talking about him there, could he possibly get game time this season?
Yeah.
You reckon?
Yeah, he could. I mean, in pre-season, I've watched all of Arsenal's games pre-season, and he's been one you've looked at, and he's just gone, he's got the opportunity, and he looks like he's gone, do you know what, I'm ready for this. Now, of course, he's not going to start. He plays on the right-hand side. He's behind Saka. That's just, Nwaneri's obviously in the queue as well. But I think he will get minutes this season. He's looked composed. He's looked sharp. He's looked fearless. He's got the ball. He's gone past people. He'll have a shot when he needs to create. Because often young players get into first teams or getting around the first team, and it takes them a little while to get going. They shrink a little bit. They feel like they can't act the same way. They can't play the same way. He's a complete opposite. Nwaneri's been the complete opposite. Lewis Skelly's been the complete opposite. These guys have gone in there and gone, no, do you know what? I'm good enough to play now. I want to play now. So I expect him to get minutes this season, especially with Arsenal being in Champions League, Premier League, Carabao Cup when that starts, FA Cup. There's games for him. There's a lot of games for him. So I'd love to see him get an opportunity.
Let's see if he plays ahead of Odegaard, shall we?
So he might be in there as well.
Listen, before we finish, very quickly, we need to talk about the main man, Andy Goldstein, back tomorrow. He finally won his first game on the Pro Pool Tour. He lost his first game 9-1 against one of the greatest players of all time.
Of course.
Remember that. Earl the Pearl Strickland, before making up for it the next day by picking up his first victory against a barman from Florida. I mean, that's not wrong. That's the right description. However, he will be full of it, you know. Does it count as a real win? It's against a barman.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the tournament.
You really...
Yeah, listen, WNT World Nine Ball
You never
Tour.
questioning it?
No, I'm not. It's there.
He paid you.
Look, listen, he could not pay me enough to big him up. I'll tell you that right now. But no, fair play to him. I mean, I know how desperate. He kept saying to me, all I want is one win on the tour, one win, and he's managed to do that. He's actually got 2. Technically, it's 3 because he got a bye in the last one as well. Because the guy, I think his visa didn't work, so that's 3 really.
Bye isn't a win.
Well, if you get to the next round, not next round, but
He hasn't won.
yeah, but he's won by default. But no, fair play to him. I know how much it meant to him, and again tomorrow, it's one of those where I'm going to have to just suck it up and go fair play.
It's a sport they play in pubs, so it doesn't really count, in my opinion.
No.
So you could throw that at him if you want. I don't mind.
No, I'm a big fan of the World Nine Ball Tour now.
I bet you are.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've caught up with everything? You're up to speed, yeah?
I mean, I was watching it I wasn't on Mars, you understand that? I was watching sport.
Were you really?
Yeah.
What, they had TVs and the internet and all that where you were?
Everything.
No way.
Yep.
About that.
Exactly.
Andy Goldstein will be back tomorrow on Drive. Just love this tune.
Who was it again?
It's Billy Ocean, isn't it?
I thought it was Billy Ocean. Is it Billy Ocean?
Why are you questioning me?
No, I'm not trusting you. Just checking.
Get out of my scared of spiders, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean,
you got worried about Amelia's news story, didn't you?
Did you know? I wasn't worried about it because I woke up this morning. I opened my eyes and I looked to the right. I saw something trickle over the pillow and go under the duvet. And when I picked the duvet up, there was a huge spider just sitting there. Jumps up quick.
Is that spider still alive?
I cannot confirm or deny. I'm telling you now, Aid. Like, all I'm going to say is it's not where it was then when I found it. Disgusting thing. Massive.
It can't hurt you, mate.
Mate, in the bed.
Yeah, but
what's it doing there?
It's just trying to sleep.
Sleep outside.
Somewhere to warm to sleep.
Nah, it's horrible.
Honestly.
Oh.
Come on. You're listening to Drive on talkSPORT. He's Darren Benty, scared of spiders. I'm Adrian Durham. Goldstein back tomorrow. Following us from 7, Max Scott brings you transfer insiders this evening. He's got the bottler, Rory Jennings. You said it. Alongside him. You're going to have it out with him. The NFL returns to Wembley in October. LA Rams take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Our competition to win VIP tickets is now open. We're giving you the chance to win 6 seats in a private box at Wembley. Full hospitality, $5,000 spending money as well. Here's how you enter. Right, it's 18 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text the word cash to 83338 and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission, or you can enter for free by calling 0330 880 3338. All entries must be received by 25th of August at 11 p.m. It's a TalkSPORT limited promotion run on TalkSPORT, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. For T's and C's at talksport.com. And now, time for this. Okay, on the road again. I am on the road again because my normal job is going to football matches, which I absolutely love. So this week I have got, well, the weekend I was at Birmingham, then Stoke, then Wembley yesterday. So tomorrow I am at Northampton against Southampton, Carabao Cup first round. Wednesday, and we're round the grounds tomorrow, all the goals they go in. Wednesday I am at Birmingham, Sheffield United, another Carabao Cup game. We've got commentary of Spurs PSG in the Super Cup as well that night. And then at the weekend, Friday, it's the Premier League, Liverpool, Bournemouth. We've got that live and exclusive on TalkSPORT Friday night. I mean, that's going to be an emotional occasion. But, I mean, you've got to remember, it's 3 points. And I think Bournemouth might struggle. I mean, they have sold 3 of their back 4. I mean, it's been an incredible summer for them, really. But I wonder how they're going to go next season.
Well, there's a few teams that are in the same boat because you're right. Bournemouth have lost some key players. I thought they might have lost 1 or 2 more. People like Semenyo, who I'm a big fan of. I even like Evan Nilsson. I think he's good as well.
Did you see the City he missed in the USA? Oh, my goodness.
Oh, we've all been there.
Have you really?
Maybe once
did
or twice.
Did anybody mention it? No?
Yeah. So I felt for him. But no, you're right. I'm looking at Bournemouth thinking, okay, they might struggle. But I still think they've got enough. I'm looking at Wolves. Mate, Hank Nouri's gone. Cunha, their 2 best players. Yeah. I know they've got Strand Larson, who I am a huge fan of. But those 2 out of the team, you're looking at them. Brentford losing the manager and Buemo. Vissa is like, no, I want out as well. I want to get to Newcastle. So I don't think all of a sudden now, because we've seen it, and 3 teams coming up. And Norgard come to Arsenal.
Yeah.
The 3 teams usually that come up have struggled and gone straight back down. This might be the year where you're looking at it and going, I don't think it's as cut and dry as usually.
Saturday we've got Villa Newcastle 12:30, a live exclusive commentary in the Premier League. I'll be round the grounds, all the goals as they go in. Saturday afternoon I'm at Sunderland West Ham.
Yeah, I'm doing something for Premier League at PLP.
Have you enjoyed it?
The show with you?
The show, have I still got it?
Come on, go.
Do I pass the test?
I call you. I don't call you Adrian. I call you Go for a reason.
That's very, very kind, Benty. I've really enjoyed being with you 3 hours. Go and get stuck into Rory Jennings.
I was about to say that's the thing I'm looking forward to more though is when Rory comes in here. He'll probably hug you and bow to you or something.
You're going to have it out with him. Goldstein is back tomorrow on Drive from 4 on TalkSPORT. Thanks for joining us.